And back at Soldier Field, you're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in the world's finest high-definition standard. And just before the coin toss, those are the 4 captains today for the Bears. Olin Kreutz and Patrick Manley are always out there. But today, Adewale Ogunleye and Lance Briggs join them. And the reason why we mention this is because it has been a jinx to be a Bear captain, because Mike Brown, Brian Urlacher, and Rex Grossman, who have been out there as captains, have been injured in the last 2 weeks. So Kreutz hope that the jinx doesn't extend to him, Moose.
Yeah, and Mike Brown and Rex Grossman, they are lost for the year. They're going to try and rest Brian Urlacher. They've got the bye next week to make sure he's 100% when he comes back, but 2 of those 3 captains gone for the season.
The Eagles leading the league in average starting position after the kickoff, and J.R. Reed grabs the short kickoff for the Eagles and carries it beyond the 30-yard line. So that's not going to help Chicago one bit. A 20-yard return for Reed. And the lineups now for the Philadelphia Eagles. And here is Donovan McNabb, who's started the best 3-game stretch of his career. And the NFC Offensive Player of the Month in the month of September, coming back to Chicago, where he started at Mount Carmel High School. In fact, the last game he played in high school was on the Soldier Field turf. The Eagles will start from the 31-yard line. And their offense has been nothing short of a machine so far this year. Throwing on first down and going underneath to Brian Westbrook, who's been a very important factor in the Eagles' offense, if not the most important, picking up 8 yards on the play. The Eagles' offensive line: Trey Thomas, Artis Hicks, Hank Fraley, Jermaine Mayberry banged up but is starting at right guard, and John Runyon.
And there's a group of wide receivers. Terrell Owens off to a great start, and one of the reasons the play calling has become aggressive for the Eagles is his play on the outside. 2nd and 2
from the 39. Dorsey Levens in the game, but it's play action. McNabb rolling out to his right and completing to Todd Pinkston. And the Eagles get into Bear territory and a first down after picking up 14. Defensively for the Chicago Bears, and this is their defensive front right now. And it's going to be Ogunleye and Alex Brown at end, and the rookies Tommy Harris and Tank Johnson at tackle.
Donovan McNabb very impressed by the play of the outside linebackers.
And the secondary, and they have been banged up. On first down, Brian Westbrook picking up good yardage, nearly 5 yards, before R.W. McQuarters makes the tackle. So Philadelphia moving the ball nicely in their first possession.
And it's something that they have done on a consistent basis to start the season. They come out in a quick start. The one concern that Andy Reid has for this team is finishing games. They've played well the first 3 games of the season, but he's nervous about them finishing. But, you know, when you've got the leads that they have, I don't necessarily know if it's a question of whether they can finish. It's just keeping that emotional intensity the whole time.
2 tight ends for the Eagles, and here's Westbrook with running room off the right side and dives forward close to the first down near the 35-yard line. So the Philadelphia Eagles, who have scored 88 points in the first 3 games.
You're going to run on the outside. You've got to have a great block by your tackle, number 69, John Runyon. Watch what he does to Adewale Ogunleye right there. He gets on that outside shoulder and gets him turned and pinned to the inside. And if you're going to run on the outside, you have to have that play. And you saw number 81, Terrell Owens, come back and take a defender off his feet. So Terrell Owens becoming a much more complete wide receiver in this system.
And the Eagles running right at the Bears' best pass rusher. So a first down on the 35 of Chicago. And Westbrook going in motion. And plenty of time to find an open man. And it's T.O., Terrell Owens. And Owens picking up nearly 9 yards on that play with McQuarters and the rookie Nathan Vasher, who is starting his first NFL game. He is a 4th-round draft pick from Texas. So the Bears playing without Charles Tillman and Jerry Azuma, their starting corners. And Mike Brown, of course, lost for the season with the ruptured Achilles.
And that may be the biggest hit of all. Mike Brown is their playmaker. And to not have him and Brian Urlacher on the defense is just something that's going to be so difficult for this defense to overcome.
2nd down and 1, and there is Ogunleye, who had a couple of sacks last week in the loss to Minnesota, and going underneath up the middle to Owens. They don't only go deep to Daryl Owens. They go underneath as well. Joe Odom on the tackle, but another first down.
And this is a play that the Philadelphia offense starts out with quite a bit. What they do is they get a guy right in here into the middle of the field. He'll just pop up right into the vision of Donovan McNabb, and it's like stealing for these guys. You see it a lot with Chad Lewis on first down. He's got work on the outside. He's going through progression. If he doesn't like anything out there, he just comes right to the middle of the field. That receiver will work right into the line of his vision, and they just get a 6-7-yard pickup.
L.J. Smith, the tight end, had a shoulder injury, but he's playing today and in the lineup right now. And here is Westbrook, but the plane is blown dead. A false start penalty against the Philadelphia
Before
Eagles.
The ball was snapped, false start, offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And it's the aforementioned tight end L.J. Smith, so a 5-yard penalty. Our referee today is Ed Hockley, who was the referee in the last Super Bowl in Houston. Good ball control for the Eagles since the start of this game. Freddie Mitchell and Greg Lewis have come in as extra wide receivers for Philadelphia. First down and 15. And McNabb getting rushed for the first time and being chased and being dropped by Alex Brown. So the crowd alive for the first time since the Bears were introduced, and a loss of 9 yards on the sack.
Good pursuit by Alex Brown, but it all started with the push in the middle. They collapsed the pocket. Watch the big tackles. 91 Tommy Harris and Ian Scott, 95. They get up there. They collapse that pocket. Donovan forced to scramble to his right. Now, that's the one thing you don't want to let happen. He's right-handed. If you're going to force him to scramble, force him to his left. But Alex Brown, a good hustle play to get that sack.
So the penalty and the sack puts the Eagles in a 2nd down and 24 situation. And the ball backed up to the Bears 34. Daryl Owens coming out to the left, single covered by McQuarters, and looking his way, going up the middle to Smith, who drops the pass in the end zone. L.J. Smith had the touchdown in his hands and lost it, bringing up a 3rd and long. And they haven't had many drop passes this year, Daryl.
They have not. That is one of the things that they have done a very good job. Some critical drops last year, but this season, everybody getting into it. L.J. Smith, that would have been a nice catch, but we've seen him make that catch already this season. And there is the aggressive play calling of Brad Childress in this Eagles offense. It's 2nd and 24. I'm expecting them to maybe get a little bit of that back. Let's find something that gets us 10, 12 yards and gives us a more manageable shot on 3rd down. The Eagles offense, they're going for the whole thing. They take a shot into the end zone.
The Eagles have to get to the 10-yard line, and a timeout called by Donovan McNabb, and this crowd cheering as the Eagles coming all the way down the field, and then a penalty, a sack, and a drop pass. Timeout by Philadelphia. We'll be right back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Philadelphia Eagles off to their best start in 11 years when they won their first 4 games back in the '93 campaign, looking for win number 4 today. That's what they've got to do. 3rd down and 24, and going against their 3rd straight team from the NFC North. They line up with 2 tight ends in a tight formation. Play action, and here comes the rush, and McNabb is tackled back at the 40. So this could very well take the Eagles out of field goal range, and it will. They were in field goal range for Akers, but a loss of 6 yards. Brian Urlacher cheering his team on the sidelines, and a punting situation.
And it all started with that penalty on the Philadelphia Eagles for illegal procedure, but the defensive line of the Chicago Bears right now doing a great job of getting penetration, especially into the face.
Offense, number 82, was covered by another player on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
So Andy Reid has seen L.J. Smith commit a penalty, drop a pass, and this penalty is declined. Lovie Smith looking for his first victory at home. His 1 win, a very impressive one at Green Bay, where the Bears had not won in years. And now will get their chance. That's Bernard Berrien, the rookie from Fresno State, and Dirk Johnson with the punt. Fielded at the 8-yard line. Berrien, and 2 flags are thrown, and Berrien goes out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
We're going to have an illegal block in the back on the Chicago Bears.
Rule always there. If you're chasing a guy, you're going to be called for the illegal block.
You got another flag on the sideline, guys. Also, it might be offsides.
Ed Hockley and his crew. And right now, Dirk Johnston staying on the field. And right now you have the defensive unit coming on for the Eagles.
He got a hat off, so somebody went out of bounds. That's why the one official has his hat off. When a guy goes out of bounds, he's going to throw his hat to mark that spot.
Quite a conversation going on here, guys. I don't know if they're talking about the play or...
Can you eavesdrop, Tony? Actually, 3 penalties.
There's a lot of stuff going on in that play.
2 against the Bears and 1 against the Eagles. Be a good time for Ed to turn his mic on down there.
Even Lovey needs to know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's going to bring him back and make him kick it again.
And the defensive unit come on for the Eagles.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. Illegal formation by the offense, number 57. Was also holding by the receiving team, number 93. It was also an illegal block in the back, number 45. The penalties offset. Will replay 4th down. Correction, it was 25, the block in the back.
Oh, who's counting?
There's a lot to sort out. We'll let him go on that one.
Andy Reid, who has seen his team win its first 3 games and just trying to keep everything cool. He knows that everything has worked so well for him. There's not much to improve upon except perhaps the defense, as you mentioned early. Here is the punt, and McQuarters will let it drop, and the Eagles are going to try to down it, and they can't.
Wow.
Well, right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are misfiring on many places, and they could not down the ball. Jeremiah Trotter couldn't, so it's a touchback for Chicago.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bears at the 20, but it should be 1st and 10 at the 8. R.W. McQuarters has to make that catch. Now, he's very lucky right here. Poor play by the Eagles special teams, who have been outstanding all season long. It should be 1st and 10 at the 1-yard line. The Bears dodge a big bullet right there. Gain some valuable field position.
For the 6'6" quarterback, Jonathan Quinn, and his first pass is thrown behind tight end Dustin Lyman. So with Rex Grossman, who really the Bears felt they were picking up a lot of momentum with his style of play, out for the season, Jonathan Quinn makes his 4th career start and his first since 2001 with Jacksonville. And as Daryl mentioned at the outset, has been with Kansas City the last 2 years and knows Terry Shea's offense.
He really does, and that gives him an advantage, but he's got to come out here and prove it. As you saw right there, not a whole lot of starts in his NFL career.
And Dustin Lyman, the tight end, and you can see Max protect against the blitzing offense and the handoff to Thomas Jones. And this has been a very effective running team, 4th in the NFL in rushing for the Chicago Bears.
And the Bears' offensive line is going to be the most important group on the field. When you're a young quarterback early on in your career, you need to be able to run the ball well, and they have to protect against this tough Eagles defense.
You know, guys, in the warm-up, I did see Javon Curse both lining up in a right and a left-handed stance. I'm going to try and keep an eye on him because I think he's going to try and go against both Tate and Mitchell today.
And you saw Thomas Jones leading the team not only in rushing, but in receiving and total yards. 3rd down and 7 for Quinn out of the shotgun, and the pass is thrown behind Bernard Berrien. So a lackluster opening series for the new quarterback of the Bears, who comes off the field. Chicago will kick.
Still looking for his first completion this season. He came in on that last series against Minnesota last week and had 3 incompletes, and has 2 in his first series here. So the one thing about Jonathan Quinn is he's got a big arm. He knows the system, but they think he has a tendency to overanalyze what's happening in front of him. He has great vision down the field, but sometimes he overthinks and he just doesn't turn the ball loose.
A big guy with a big arm, Daryl, is Brad Maynard punting for the first time. Reno Mahe at the 30-yard line sidesteps one defender and is dropped at the 35-yard line. So each team has had the ball once. Donovan McNabb comes back on. No score. 8:35 remaining in the first. 8:35 remaining in the first. The Eagles and the Bears are scoreless. The Eagles have won the last 4 meetings between these teams, including a victory in the 2001 divisional playoff. Eagles' second possession will start from the 36-yard line. And another penalty. And Josh Parry.
False start, offense, number 49. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Who's replaced John Ritchie, who is injured and out for the year at fullback, guilty of the false start.
Well, for the Chicago Bears to really have an opportunity to win this game today, Philadelphia has to help them. Last week against Detroit, we talked about the same things. They didn't do anything to help Detroit. So far, at this early juncture of the game, we've had 2 critical penalties and an opportunity to down the ball at the 1. They have missed those things.
Brian Westbrook, hard runner, and Westbrook on first down, tackled by Briggs after a pickup of 2. Well, this morning it was Raven star Ray Lewis, and now it's your chance to tell us who you want to see go 10 yards with TB on next week's pregame show. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN and choose from Joe Gibbs, Mike Martz, Dick Vermeil, and Jim Moore. Then tune in later today to see who was selected.
I'm going to go out on a limb and predict Joe Gibbs.
I think Mike Martz in a surprise. 2nd and 13. And Westbrook following the block of Josh Parry, turning the corner, nothing there, and a flag thrown, and another one. So we have not just had one yellow flag thrown on plays, we've had multiple tosses. Ogunleye with good pursuit to get Westbrook, who had a 3-yard gain pending the call.
Well, everybody doing their job, maintaining their gap, forcing Brian Westbrook to bounce
Personal
outside.
foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You see right here, number 93, Adewale Ogunleye, gets a handful of that. Now, that's a penalty that your coaches can live with. That's an aggressive play. It's part of the game. It happens sometime. I don't agree with the 15-yarder. I thought it was a 5-yarder. He didn't jerk. It was just the flow of the game. I think that should have been a 5-yard face mask. But that's the way the game goes. But right now, the Bears defense is doing a good job. They are maintaining their gaps. They're filling everything. They're forcing Westbrook to the outside when he runs.
And is reflected in the last 5 plays, which has been good for minus yardage. So first down now at midfield for Philadelphia. Here is McNabb, and he has an open Westbrook. And Brian Westbrook, who's been a workhorse to start this game, getting 5 yards before he's dropped by the rookie Nathan Basham.
And what we're seeing right now is that game plan that Lovie Smith has put in place with Ron Rivera. They're not going to let anybody get over the top. They're going to force the Philadelphia Eagles to throw the ball underneath. They're going to rally up and tackle the wide receivers or the running backs and try and limit them. They're going to force them to go the long distance because they feel that the Philadelphia Eagles will commit penalties, which they have been doing up until this point.
2nd and 5. Eagles spreading the defense, and very tough when they run under this circumstance, and they do to Dorsey Levens. And this is what the Bears were fearful of, the running with the wide outs of 3 wide receivers running up the middle, and Dorsey Levens gets 7 yards for the first down. Dexter Wynn, who plays on special teams for the Eagles, out with a hamstring pull, doubtful for his return.
When you talk to the Bears, their concern is getting that offense spread out, and all of a sudden you've got more defined running lanes. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense. They actually were hoping that the Philadelphia Eagles would come out and throw the ball, which was surprising for me to hear because of the injuries in the secondary.
Here's Levens, and he nearly breaks a tackle and dives forward to the 36 before Michael Haynes, the defensive end, makes the stop. A 2-yard pickup as the clock nears 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Dick Stockton, Daryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa on the field on what has been one of the chillier days so far in Chicago, and the wind, which is favoring the direction the Eagles are going in. 2nd down and 8. Levens remains in as the tailback. Goes out as a pass receiver and makes a tough catch, but is tackled short of the first down by about 4 yards by linebacker Lance Briggs.
All the receivers going down the field on that situation, all covered by the Chicago defense. They are executing this game plan very well. They're going to allow the receivers underneath the running backs and the tight end to catch the ball. Up until this point, you have to be impressed with what Lovie Smith and the Chicago defense has done, because as we have seen a number of times this year, this offense is a very quick start, and they're very explosive, and they're going to force them to go the long distance.
6th in the NFL on 3rd downs. They need 4 yards for the Philadelphia Eagles. And McNabb getting a late rush in the pass intended for Freddie Mitchell, incomplete. And it was Mike Green on the defense, but McNabb had to get rid of it in a hurry with the rush coming down on him.
And they're getting the pressure with just their 4 defensive linemen. They're able to make Donovan McNabb uncomfortable. Right there, what a nice rush by Michael Hainsworth. He gets John Runyon upfield, comes down underneath. He's not able to have that sense of being comfortable in the pocket. They're not getting hits on him, but they are starting to hurry him.
51-yard attempt for Akers, who is 6 for 7 on the year, and perfect last week. And he's got the wind at his back. David Akers, and this kick is good, and the Eagles take a 3-0 lead. 51-yard field goal. Philadelphia jumps in front. Splendid day in Chicago. The Bears, who have lost both of their games by a combined 9 points, trailing 3-0 on Akers' 51-yard field goal.
Some good music down here, Dick.
Can you dance to it, Tony?
I can dance to anything, as you know.
I sure do. Jason McKee is back along with Bernard Berrien. Berrien is the deep man for the Chicago Bears as Akers kicks off. And Berrien going back about 4 yards in the end zone, and he will keep it there for the touchback. And we'll take another break with 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. The key is, can the Bears do anything on offense? Daryl, the Bears have done a fairly good job defensively so far, limiting to Philadelphia to just 3 points on 2 possessions. But the big question comes now with Quinn, who looked a little shaky in the passing department in the first series.
Yeah, he really did. They've got to get something done offensively, and just the 2 incompletions and 2 yards rushing. I was surprised to see that play calling. I know you want to get your quarterback comfortable, give him maybe some easy completions early in the game, but the strength of this offense all season long up until this point has been the offensive line and getting Thomas Jones on track. And that's a quarterback's best friend when he's just starting the NFL, a sound running game.
First down at the 20 for the Bears. And a lot of shifting going on for them. In motion is Bobby Wade, and the handoff to Jones, and a good run by Jones. Javon Kearse making the play after a gain of 5 yards. Thomas Jones, and what a find he has been after playing with Arizona and Tampa Bay the last 2 seasons. When the Eagles have scored in the first quarter, they have not lost, so they have that going for them. 2nd and 5 on the 25.
Which is nice.
They've got a lot of things going for them, including this team. And there is the handoff again to Jones. First down. See where they spot the ball. It'll be very close. So the last 2 plays, Daryl, the Bears are going into a possible end-around situation and giving the ball to their running back.
Well, if there is one weakness on this Philadelphia defense, it is their run defense, and it has been a question for a while. And, you know, that's what the Bears have to do. That is their strength. And Thomas Jones has been a great addition to this Bears offense. And sometimes it's just a question of a guy fitting into a system the right way. And he didn't do it a lot in Arizona. He had a limited success down in Tampa Bay. But Terry Shea, the offensive coordinator, he had his eye on Thomas Jones for a while. And I think he fits their scheme perfectly. It's what Priest Holmes did in Kansas City. He's very athletic. He's a good pass catcher. He does all the things necessary for a running back in this offense.
And here is Quinn, and this is an end around to Bobby Wade. So after a couple of fakes, Bobby Wade on the end around gets smashed after spinning his way to the 39-yard line, and it was Hollis Thomas who makes the play, and a flag is down.
There's Hollis Thomas right there. He's going to be the guy that chases it.
Number 84 and 83 were both moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
In Canada, this would have been a great play.
But you would have had an extra guy in the field, too.
That's true.
But Jonathan Quinn, he does a good job just getting in the way of Michael Lewis, there, number 32, who is in to make the play on the reverse. But some of the things, you can't have any of these. obviously ever. But when you've got a young quarterback, you just can't have these types of mistakes to take away positive yardage. You just built a little bit of momentum. You've got to keep it going. Now you force him into situations where he has to throw, and you don't want to be in those situations against this Eagles defense. 1st and 15. They don't have to get all of it back. They have the trips, as they say, 3 wide receivers to the right, and Thomas Jones will be tackled for the loss. So after the fake to one of the receivers, a loss of 3, Derek Burgess, who has not played the last 2 years, and the Eagles have always liked his pass rushing abilities, grabs Jones, and that'll be 2nd down and even longer. Well, we've talked about the impact that Terrell Owens has had on the offensive side of the ball, but Javon Curse, I think the same thing on the defensive side of the ball. All the other guys now are able to step up and make some plays because everybody's looking for number 93 on the defense. All of a sudden, you've got Derek Burgess and Corey Simon, some guys being able to be single block. You see Javon Curse on the line of scrimmage, and there is the first completion for Quinn, and the ball caught at the 36 by David Terrell, short of the first down by 4 yards. And right now, for a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Dick, the New York Giants were poised to score on 3rd and goal. Kurt Warner picked off by Darren Sharper. That is Kurt Warner's first pick of the season, and we're still at no score at Lambeau. Back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, thank you very much. So you saw Brett Favre come on the field to perform his magic for the Packers, who are 1-2. 3rd down and 4, and Quinn getting rid of it in a hurry, and off the hands of Jones. Incomplete, bringing up 4th down. Pass thrown a little high, and the Bears will have to punt. Nate Wayne was covering Jones out of the backfield. And he almost got an interception on that tip ball. A little bit high for Thomas Jones, but Thomas Jones has got to make that catch. He's a very good receiver out of the backfield. That's a play designed specifically for him to get a one-on-one matchup with the linebacker. They got exactly what they wanted. They just got to finish the play. Brad Maynard will kick. You saw number 34, Reno Mahe, go deep for the Eagles. Kicking against the wind, Mahe at the 16, and down he goes. Good coverage by the Bears, and it was Todd McMillan making the big play. Well, it's unpredictable. It can never be scripted. Has provided us with some of sports' greatest moments. Tuesday, Fox Sports begins a month-long journey, starting with the Division Series, then brings you exclusive coverage of the Championship Series, and culminates with the World Series and the crowning of a champion. The drama begins Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, here on Fox. It's going to be a great, exciting month, and we've had great exciting moments down the stretch of the regular season. Chicago fans licking their wounds after the Cubs were eliminated yesterday. First down on the 19 for Philadelphia, leading 3-0. And McNabb swings it out to Westbrook. Westbrook showing his speed, picking up the first down before it going out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
I'll tell you what, when Donovan McNabb, guys, doesn't have any pressure on him, he sits back in the pocket very calm. And if the guys are trying to read his eyes, but they're not getting a good read off of Donovan, he really is aware of where the ball should go if he doesn't have his first receiver wide open.
So many options, Moose.
Oh, unbelievable. And they put Lance Briggs in a difficult situation where he's got L.J. Smith breaking across his face, and then all of a sudden here comes Brian Westbrook swinging out on a wide flat pattern, and it's kind of like, okay, do I go back inside? Do I honor this? And you've got to honor Brian's speed on the outside.
And this time Westbrook going off the left side, bulls his way to the 45-yard line. Brian Westbrook, pound for pound, maybe, and all respects to McNabb, the most valuable offensive player on this team, gets 13.
Well, he feels he's always got to prove himself. You know, he went to a small school at Villanova. He's an undersized guy, so everybody has always questioned his abilities. And you watch him this season, you know, even coming into it, you know, can he be the featured back? You know, Deuce Staley leaves, Carell Buckhalter is hurt. And I think he has silenced every critic. He has been outstanding all year long.
Gets a breather, and Dorsey Levens comes in and gets the call, but nothing doing. And no gain on the play. Tommy Harris making the play for the Bears, the #1 pick out of Oklahoma. He, along with Tank Johnson, who was their #2 pick, are now starting at defensive tackle.
I think Tommy Harris is going to be a special player, and I think he fits this scheme very well. He is an upfield penetrating tackle, very difficult to block, and that's the type of guy that you have to have in this defensive scheme. Lovie Smith bringing it from Tampa and St. Louis, working together with Ron Rivera. I think he's a perfect fit for what they do up front.
Bears starting 3 rookies on the defensive unit today. Second down and 10. And here's McNabb getting the pressure, but completes the pass to Terrell Owens. And he is tackled short of the first down, but gets into Chicago territory as the time runs out. Ogunleye makes the tackle shy of the first down.
Here come your blitzers. There's your first one, and then here comes Hunter Miller. After that, Dorsey Levens does a good job, takes the outside guy, and it's a delayed one, so he gets number 92 right in his face. Donovan McNabb hangs in, delivers it for the completion.
That's the end of the first quarter. The Eagles lead the Bears 3-0. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. Andy Reid and Lovie Smith, their respective coaches. A lot of people in Chicago impressed with Lovie Smith and the way he has approached the Bears, playing hard, and they have done that in this first quarter. They trail 3-0, and the big question will be, can the defense hold off the Eagles enough? And what can the offense achieve? It'll be 3rd down and 1 at the 46 as we start the second quarter. And McNabb rolling out, and he's going to fire it, caught by Pinkston. And good concentration by Todd Pinkston after he bobbled the ball. Nathan Vasher covering, and a 9-yard pickup, the first down inside the Bears 40.
Well, they're trying to get Brian Westbrook isolated. He's going to come out and move here in motion and then get into his route. They've got Donovan McNabb rolling that way. The Bears do a great job of getting people right exactly on the down markers. You see right there, he's covered all the way. Look at Todd Pinkston work, and then the concentration right there. He knows he's going to take a hit. He knows he's in the middle of several Bear defenders, and that is what they are doing this year. They are making catches that they didn't last season. They're making plays.
On the 37 of the Bears, Eagles with a first down, and McNabb going up the middle out of the backfield. Reno Mahi with the catch to the 30, picking up 6. And for another game break, here's James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Dick, for those asking what did Green Bay do with the pick of Kurt Warner, we'll take a look at Ahman Green, looking like he's heading for pay dirt, but oh, no, he fumbles the ball, and now New York recovers. Hey, Dick, the bottom line is there's not much action happening right now, so we're doing the best we can. Back to you, Dick.
Oh, turnovers can always be handy, you JB. Keep them coming. They change direction, don't they? 2nd and 3, and McNabb on the slant completes to Terrell Owens. And a first down for the Eagles as they threaten inside the 20, picking up 12.
And we've got another blitz coming. There goes number 52. Out to the outside, Marcus Reese. Here comes 32, Todd Johnson, and he gets stuck by Brian Westbrook. If you are going to leave your feet, you better be ready to be taken to your back. And this is another phase of the game that Brian Westbrook excels in, and that's how you stay on the field in those 3rd down situations. Now, you've got to be able to do more than catch a football. You've got to be able to protect your quarterback, and that shows you how good Brian Westbrook is in that situation.
2nd in the league in red zone offense are the Eagles. They're on the Bears 18. McNabb getting time, and he finds the receiver, Westbrook, and the running back hit hard at the 15-yard line by R.W. McQuarters after picking up a few.
And now we see the other part of his game as being a complete player. He can get out there in those situations and make the difficult catch.
You know, guys, the one thing looking down here on the field is the defense is getting a little frustrated. They're running a lot of 3-man games that are a real slow developing pass rush up front. But what the Eagles are doing that's frustrating the Bears is a lot of 3-step, and the ball comes out really fast. So it's a good adjustment on the Eagles.
And this is a handoff to Westbrook. And Westbrook getting 1 yard off the right side. Michael Haynes, who's been an active player on the defensive line, making the stop, bringing up 3rd down. And a long 6.
You saw that stat previously. The Eagles, no turnovers in the red zone. And that is one of the reasons they are having success. No penalties, no mistakes on their part.
That's what the Bears have done in the red zone defensively this year. Owens to the top of your screen. 10th play of the drive. Westbrook goes in motion. Empty backfield, and the pass is thrown, caught by Freddie Mitchell, and a flag gets thrown as Mitchell is tackled. He did not get enough for the first down, but a flag thrown from across the field.
Wow.
Lance Briggs putting the pressure on McNabb, who got rid of it as he was going down, and this will go against
Pass
Philly.
interference, offense, number 89, 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
And the tight end Chad Lewis pushing off will cost the Eagles on this play.
The Eagles are starting to do some things this afternoon that we haven't seen them do in their first 3 games. Chad Lewis here on a situation. He's right there at the bottom of your screen getting a little bit of a shove to create that separation, and a great ad-lib play by Donovan McNabb. It shows you, I mean, if you get there, your work's only half done because you've got to get him to the ground. He is such a big, strong guy in the pocket. The ability to make a throw like that with people hanging on him, I mean, you've got to finish it. Just because you're there doesn't mean that your job is over.
And R.W. McQuarters getting the crowd into the act. 3rd and 16 on the 24. And McNabb under pressure, and the pass incomplete. The Bears getting good pressure up the middle on McNabb, trying to get it to Pinkston, and Chicago giving McNabb fits to an extent. 4th down coming up. Once again, the rookie Thomas Harris charging.
They're giving them a lot of different looks pre-snap and seem to have the Eagles offense flustered right now. That time they walk up a bunch of the defenders into the gaps and show blitz, and then everybody pulls out. And the Eagles, they didn't have anything called. They didn't have a receiver beyond the sticks in that situation.
David Akers with a 51-yarder in his pocket will try one from 42 yards. This one into the wind, but well within Akers' range. And Akers' kick is good, and the Eagles, who have been stymied in the red zone, have managed a couple of field goals, and that's been the story with 4 minutes gone by in the second. Back here at Soldier Field, the Eagles now with a 6-0 lead. The scoring drive capped by another Akers field goal. McNabb 6 of 7. Eagles coming in all 3 of their victories by at least 10 points, and they have had the lead in each quarter in all 3 games. So you can't ask for more than that as Bernard Berrien gets set to return the kick by Akers, as the Bears try to muster something on the offensive side of the ball.
They've got to do something. The defense is keeping them in this game at this time, and that was going to be the case for the Bears this year, even with Rex Grossman in the lineup. But they've got to do something offensively.
Berrien running into his own man now, breaks out, and being chased by Reed. And J.R. Reed, who's got great speed, he's the kickoff returner for the Eagles, but a 24-yard return, flag upfield, thrown at the 40.
Well, that is a good play by J.R. Reed, because Brent Berrien, he is going to get the corner on most guys, but J.R. Reed does his job. He stays, as he comes downfield as the safety, keeps that runner on his inside shoulder, and as soon as he tries to break to the outside, he's got the speed to get him. He pulls him down inside the 20-yard line. A lot of times, you get that guy who comes into the mix, he sees the returner get up into that pile, thinks he's tackled, all of a sudden he's lost his leverage.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness by the kicking team, number 52. The 15-yard penalty added to the end of the return. 1st down.
So Jason Short committing the personal foul, and that will give the Bears an advantage, moving it up 15 yards. We'll take a break. The Bears, after the personal foul penalty and only their second first down, won by penalty, will start from the 35-yard line. There you see the ball control story. The Eagles with nearly 11 minutes advantage in ball control, leading 6-0. First down, Wade, the wide receiver, going in motion. And here is Quinn going underneath. It's caught at the 40-yard line, picking up 5 yards to Desmond Clark, the tight end.
The Bears defense stealing a page from Jim Johnston in his Philadelphia Eagles defensive philosophy. It doesn't matter about yards and time of possession. They've gotten down in the red zone. They've been able to hold them to field goals, but a lot of this is due to the mistakes that the Philadelphia Eagles are making. For the first time this season, they seem a tad frustrated.
Well, he's been a champion, as you see in the World Bowl in Berlin 3 years ago. Thomas Jones, and you knew the Eagles were going to gang up on Jones. Only loses 3 yards on that play. Hugh Douglas making the play, and Jim Johnston dialing up the blitzes, and many times so far this year, no blitzes, just putting the pressure on with Curse and company.
Yeah, they've got the luxury this season of having a guy that gets pressure without having to bring the blitz in Javon Curse, but you look at what he does, and when he's on the road, he likes to blitz. Now he's got a young, inexperienced quarterback. You know he's just going to kind of double that up on him. It's going to be a difficult day for Jonathan Quinn, but the offensive line has done a good job up until this point. He hasn't had that free blitzer hit him yet.
3rd down and 8 from the 37. And the pass is tipped incomplete, and it was deflected by Ike Reese, the linebacker. 4th down coming up So Quinn, who's supposed to see over all those defenders at 6'6", couldn't see over Ike Reese on that one.
Well, that's just a good athletic play by Ike Reese right there. He got up in the air a little bit. He showed us some ups right there to get that ball knocked down.
4th down, and Brad Maynard will kick. Ike Reese, an Iron Man in his performance, stays on for special teams as Reno Mahe prepares to return the kick. It is a line drive kick. Mahe looking up into the sun. A flag goes down as the punt goes out of bounds. And the flag is thrown at the 28-yard line.
Going to be holding on the Eagles, so another mistake. You know, everything is sitting there for them. You know, the offense of the Bears is struggling, but
Holding.
Get out of the wind.
Holding by the receiving team, number 30, during the kick. 10-yard penalty enforced from the end of the kick. 1st down.
J.R. Reed, who made the big play on Berrien, guilty here.
Here he comes in right there, gets a handful of jersey, actually pulls him down as he goes down, and the Eagles will be starting in backed up field position again.
Eagles in front 6-0. At this point, Daryl, what's keeping the Bears in the game?
Well, the Bears are going to need some help from the Eagles. Now they haven't turned the ball over, but they're committing some penalties. The phases that we saw them do so well the first 3 weeks, offensive and deep and special teams, they're making some mistakes out there.
And that's why they're backed up starting from the 9-yard line. Their worst starting field position. Leading 6-0. Brian Westbrook. And Westbrook drives it out to the 9. R.W. McQuarters coming up from the secondary. No gain on the play. So as the Eagles are trying to keep Jones from getting anything today, that's what the Bears have done lately for Westbrook.
They really have. They've done a nice job, and they are taking away the cutback lanes, and that's what Lovey talked about when he said they have a sound system, and he feels he can plug players in. They're filling their gaps. They're maintaining it. They're not trying to do more than they're supposed to.
2nd down and 10 from the 9. McNabb looking one way, throwing the other, and the pass is caught by Chad Lewis. And Lewis may be short of the 1st down by a yard or so. And right now we want to tell you that today's game is being seen around the world on Armed Forces Television. And we want to send our best wishes to the men and women of the 86th Airlift Wing at the Ramstein Air Base in Germany. Glad you're watching. And thank you for everything.
Yes. From everybody back home.
Absolutely.
3rd and 1 for the Eagles with under 8.5 remaining in the 1st half. And McNabb getting some time and going for the fade, and the pass is out of bounds, caught by Westbrook, but he was out of bounds at the time. 4th down coming up, and the Chicago defense forces the punt.
Well, you get that matchup you want. He's going to be on number 32, Todd Johnston, and they've got him on a wheel and go on the outside. He does a good job of staying with him. You see the catch out of bounds right there. Now, they had to do that because they had Terrell Owens going down the middle of the field. The safety has to respect that. Lovie Smith does not want anybody getting over the top.
Only had 1 foot in bounds and a wobbly kick and a fair catch, and it's muffed by R.W. McQuarters and a loose ball, and the Eagles recover. So it's the Bears who make a critical mistake. And the first turnover of the game, and after backing up the vaunted Eagle offense, Philadelphia gets it back in Chicago territory.
R.W. McQuarters coming up. He's got to pull off on that. He knows that his guy on the outside who's playing that spot, blocking the forcer for him, he's worried about the block. It's up to R.W. McQuarters, who's watching the flight of the ball and the path of the players, to bail out in that situation. Nathan Vassar is doing his job, trying to protect him, to block to the outside, but he's got to either give a short call, he's got to give him some type of call, but it's up to him to make sure that there's not a collision.
And it was Dhani Jones who recovered it. Nathan Vassar, the rookie, playing today, and Jones with a key recovery. So the Eagles keep possession and will be on the Bears' 47-yard line with a big opportunity here. That's the last thing the Bears needed in a game like this, especially keeping it so close as they have midway through the 2nd quarter. And the end around and the double reverse to Greg Lewis And the former Chicago high school star still on his feet, and he gets a first down inside the 40, close to the 35. An 11-yard pickup. Ogunleye making the tackle as Lewis returns home after being an undrafted rookie at the University of Illinois.
Well, we saw the aggressive play last week. After a turnover, they have a 29-yard touchdown pass to Daryl Owens. This week, they go with the double reverse after they get good field position on a turnover. So, again, we're seeing that aggressive style of play calling from this Eagles offense.
So there you see the pass 70%, the rush nearly 30% on first down. And on first down, they'll run the ball to Brian Westbrook. Westbrook, breaking a couple of tackles, picks up nearly 9 yards on first down. Philadelphia trying to take quick advantage of that miscue by the Bears. So far, only 2 field goals by David Akers in a 6-0 game.
And you frustrated this Eagles offense up until this point, and all of a sudden you give them a break. It'll be, this will show me a lot about this team. If they've gotten off to a slow start and they're not playing well, when they get that opportunity from the Bears, if they can take it down the field right now and get a touchdown, that says a lot about this Eagles team. They can find a way even when they're not playing their best. They're very opportunistic.
2nd and 2, and a team that likes to pass a lot, gaining nearly 5 yards a rush. Pump fake, McNabb, Westbrook. First down, flag down. Tackle at the 21-yard line, and Ogunleye putting the pressure on, and not happy with this.
Roughing the passer, defense. Unnecessary step. The quarterback is throwing the ball 15 yards, first down.
So Ogunleye with a face mask penalty, and now roughing the passer.
He's coming from the inside right there. Boy, that's touchy. You know, Donovan he's kind of moving to get that ball thrown out. I don't think it was necessary steps. I think it was quicker than that.
Touchy. That was a bad call.
Not a good call
on his part. You can't stop. Once you got the guy in your grasp, you can't stop. You got to go. You can't. Your head can't be on the ball. You don't know if he got rid of it or what. You got to go and finish the play.
And the big thing that tells you it might have been, you know, just the fact that Donovan's got to adjust. So that means that Adewale Ogunleye is in his face. You know, he's got to make an adjustment on that throw. So that goes to show you that even Donovan felt he was that close to him.
Hey, you got to play the game of football. First down at the 11-yard line. McNabb's pass, and it is caught by Daryl Owens for the touchdown, doing a few sit-ups after the catch. His 6th touchdown reception of the year, and the Eagles open up a 12-0 lead, taking advantage of that turnover, the muff on the punt.
He sure knows how to make friends on the road, doesn't he?
Get the fans on your side, right?
He did it with the Lions last week. They all loved him after his touchdown catches.
You know,
Daryl, same thing going in Chicago.
They talk about taking the crowd out of the game. He gets the crowd back in the game for the Bears.
Yeah, they're not happy here in the end zone throwing stuff. I'm dodging stuff.
You're nifty enough to do it.
Thank you very much.
David Akers with the extra point. And the kick by Akers is good, and the Eagles taking a 13-0 lead. Bears playing better than that, but Daryl Owens, 6 touchdown catches in this young season. Daryl Owens with the touchdown catch to make it 13-0, and after he caught the slant for the touchdown, did a sit-up for every touchdown pass he's caught, 6 in all. Well, when he gets up to 200, he's going to be very tired. And, of course, Donovan McNabb now with 9 touchdown passes and no interceptions. Kickoff, Bernard Berrien. And Berrien brings it out straight ahead to the 28-yard line. Well, next week it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. It all begins with America's #1 pregame show, and then Kurt Warner and the Giants will be in Dallas to take on Bill Parcells' Cowboys, followed by an NFC West matchup as Marshall Faulk and the Rams travel to Seattle to play the Seahawks, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific here on Fox, presented in Fox Sports High Definition. See how the Bears respond, Daryl, after that downer of the turnover and touchdown, starting at the 29-yard line. And it's Quinn overthrowing tight end Justin Lyman. And right now, for a game break, let's go back to Los Angeles and James Brown.
Hey, Dick, Washington trying to bounce back from the Monday night loss, capping a 12-play, 78-yard drive. Clinton Portis with the 1-yard TD run, no fumbles on the play. They're up 10-3. Dick, it is so nice to show you a legitimate play. Back to Dick Stockton.
Yeah, Daryl, we love to see scores, don't we?
That's a good game break. Now they're getting into the flow of it.
Sooner or later, those guys really turn it on. I love it. 2nd and 10 from the 29. And the handoff, Thomas Jones. And Jones is unable to get started today. 1 yard on the play for Thomas Jones, who has been stymied by the Eagle defense so far. 6 carries and only 7 yards.
That's one of the things that this offense has to do to help Jonathan Quinn. They've got to run the ball effectively. It's one of the best matchups that they have against the Philadelphia Eagle defense. And you talked about them not being opportunistic. Just look at what the Philadelphia Eagles did last drive. They get the turnover, they get a big penalty from the roughing the passer, and they're able to go in and get the touchdown.
Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 9, and this one dropped by Wade. Wade had beaten the defensive tackle Darwin Walker.
It just looked like Quinn was rushing that pass, guys. He never got set, never even saw his receiver, looks like, from the end zone, standing about 40 yards behind him.
They have just not been able to get on track. In that situation, the running game, I just feel like they need to get more focus on the running game. Right now, Jonathan Quinn just 2 of 8 for 19 yards. They've got to start leading on Thomas Jones. He's their playmaker in the offense.
They're going to have to hit some passes, though, to get Jones some running room. And Reno Mahe returning to the 30-yard line with 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Bears playing very well early, but the crowd and the team may be a bit deflated right now by that turnover and the score by the Eagles, and of course the questionable roughing the passer penalty as well. We have another flag here.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 82. A penalty's enforced 10 yards from the end of the kick. Philadelphia keeps the ball, 1st down.
L.J. Smith is having a tough day. That is his 3rd penalty already. He had 1 in the red zone that took away an opportunity for points early in the game. They had to settle for a field goal after some sacks, but the Philadelphia team, they're continuing to make mistakes.
And of course, he dropped a touchdown pass as well, so it hasn't been his day. It's unpredictable, can't be scripted, and it has provided us with some of sports' greatest moments. Tuesday, Fox Sports begins a month-long journey starting with the Division Series, then bringing you exclusive coverage of the Championship Series, culminating with the World Series and the crowning of a champion. It'll be a new champion. The drama begins Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, here on Fox. McNabb with a gaudy passer rating thus far, 15 of 19, 20th attempt, and going up on top, and it's caught by Terrell Owens, and a 1st down. What great touch by McNabb, and into Bears territory, picking up 44.
That is the scary thing about this offense. They have squandered some opportunities. They've struggled in the red zone. They get a couple field goals, but they take advantage of the fumble. They get the touchdown. They have a penalty off this one. The one thing that Lovie Smith said they were not going to allow happen was to anybody get beyond them. There you see what a physical receiver can do in the NFL. Terrell Owens is able to just fight right through that jam by R.W. McQuarters. You see the smile on his face right there. They've got 2 vertical routes. The safety's got it. He's in the middle of the field. There's nothing he can do.
And on 1st down from the 44, and the pass caught for another 1st down, this time by Freddie Mitchell. So many different receivers Donovan McNabb can go to here as Green and McQuarters make the tackle. Interesting that the Bears are content with single coverage on Terrell Owens with R.W. McQuarters.
Well, they're going to have some situations where it'll appear he's one-on-one, but he should have help over the top. He should have help underneath. They're not going to put R.W. McQuarters out on an island against Terrell Owens. But I tell you, that last series, when they got that turnover, was a huge wake-up call for the Eagles, because this is a much more disciplined team right now than the one that took the field.
And McNabb getting the rush, flips one to Westbrook, diving inside the 30-yard line, and a gain of 4 yards on the play. Hunter Hillenmeyer making the tackle. Hillenmeyer, of course, starting at linebacker once again for the injured Brian Urlacher, who might have been able to go, but they're going to wait till after the bye week. But keep in mind, Hillenmeyer has been in there since the first practice of camp. and all of preseason. There is Urlacher on the sideline. So he may be inexperienced during the season, but he's seen a lot of action early in the year because of that injury. 2nd and 7. Westbrook off the left side, cutting upfield and close to the first down. Hillenmeyer with the tackle.
Brian Urlacher is going to be on the sideline. He's going to be his eyes on the field. So any questions that Hunter Hillenmeyer will have when he comes off the field, Brian's going to be there to answer those. And he has been very effective. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that he was able to get all those reps. But I agree with the decision of the Bears staff to sit Brian Urlacher down today. You've got your bye week next week. He tweaked it in practice a couple weeks ago. It just has never come back to 100% since training camp. You've got to have him for the entire season.
Dorsey Levens into the game at running back. 3rd down and 2. Gets the call and doesn't make it. Stopped by Lance Briggs, the outside linebacker, who plays a very important role on this Bears defense.
Well, that was the great thing about having Brian Urlacher in that defense, along with Lance Briggs, because the will linebacker, which is the position that Lance plays, is kind of the playmaker in this offense. Sometimes in that cover 2, Brian Urlacher's got to turn his back and run down the middle of the field, but to have 2 guys like that, I think is such a huge plus for Lovie Smith, because I don't think he ever had a guy with the talent that Brian Urlacher has at that middle linebacker position in his scheme.
Akers with a 42-yard attempt. He is 2 for 2 this afternoon. With just about 2 minutes remaining in the first half, the kick is good, and the Eagles stretch their lead down to 16-0. Akers with his 3rd field goal of the game, and the 2-minute warning here with just under 2 minutes to play. $16-0 in favor of the Eagles. Akers with a 42-yard field goal, so he's had a pair from 42 and 1 from 51. 7 field goals in the last 6 quarters against the Chicago Bears. 16-0. And the big question for the Bears is, will they put up some numbers on the board themselves? Bernard Berrien, 3rd-round draft pick from Fresno State. Akers kicking off. Right, about a yard in the end zone. Berrien returns for the Bears, looking to give Chicago good field position, and he's going to do that, provided there's no flags, and he is down. No penalty, gets it up to the 34-yard line. Donovan McNabb, of course, the native of Chicago, and every time he comes here, his mom, Wilma, has a spread you wouldn't believe. She's a great cook, and when there's food, there's the goose, Tony Siragusa.
All right, now maybe you can go over everything that we got here.
All right.
Because if it ain't spaghetti, I don't know much about it. Thank you, man. That's what it's all about.
And the pass on 1st down caught by David Terrell, his first catch of the game, and the Bears with a 12-yard gain and a hurry-up offense. But we got time for Tony to tell us, how good was the food?
It was really good, man. That chicken, the beans, all that stuff was unbelievable.
This pass again caught by David Terrell. Maybe David Terrell got in to have sample some of that stuff, picking up 8 yards.
You know, it's interesting to see a young quarterback who has struggled the entire half. All of a sudden, he gets into that 2-minute situation, and he's not thinking about the plays that are coming in. He just has to react and adjust to what's moving on the fly. And maybe this is something that will boost Jonathan Quinn's confidence as his first half ends, because he's playing much more composed and seems much more comfortable in the pocket in the 2-minute situation than he has all half.
He is, Daryl. He's completed 2 in a row after completing only 2 up to that point. 2nd down, 4. And there is Quinn, and the pass is dropped. Flag down, Justin Gage. And pass is incomplete, but we're going to have a holding penalty called.
Before the pass was thrown, holding, defense, number 26.
It'll be a first down.
A 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Cornerback Lito Shepard.
One of the things that the coaches talk about Jonathan Quinn is he tries to guide the ball. You know, sometimes he just overanalyzes things. He sees the field very well. Terry Shea, the offensive coordinator, but watch right here. It's like he's guiding the ball in there. He's got to turn it loose. He's got to get to the point where he's comfortable, go through his progressions. That's going to tell him where he needs to go with the ball, and then just let it go. I think sometimes he's trying to be too methodical and thinking too much in the pocket.
Yeah, he aims the ball and really not instinctive. Here is the draw play to Thomas Jones, his best run by far, as he wends his way for a first down over the 33-yard line. Michael Lewis on the tackle, an 11-yard pickup, the best running play of the day for the Bears.
It's just unusual to see a team that struggled the entire half. They get into this hurry-up situation, and not only the quarterback, but the offensive line and the running back, all playing the best they have all half.
And here's the pass thrown underneath to Jones. And the Bears have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. They get to the 25-yard line and now will use their first with 54 seconds on the clock. So this is the best the Bears offenses look as they try to get on the scoreboard. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats. And the Bears trying to make some noise before intermission. 54 seconds remaining in the half. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Second down and 2 on the Eagle 25. Again out of the shotgun. And there's the pass, and it's caught for the first down to David Terrell. And the clock continues to run, and it's a hurry-up time for Chicago's offense. So they're saving those 2 timeouts. The ball is at the 22-yard line, and Quinn completes it to Bobby Wade, who goes out of bounds and stops the clock at 33 seconds. And the Bears on the Eagles' 20.
You know what, Moose, you're exactly right. I was watching, listening to what you said about Quinn. He's not even thinking back there. He's very comfortable in the shotgun, and he's just reacting. He's throwing the ball a lot better than he did earlier in the game.
Yeah, if I'm Lovie Smith and Terry Shea, we come out for the second half, I'm jumping into the hurry-up to start the half.
And I wonder why Javon Curse is not in there right now, as they have Hugh Douglas in there. They spread the offense, and there is Quinn with time, and his pass overthrown, trying to go to Berrien. Crowd looking for a flag, none coming. With 29 seconds to go, and now we're looking at third down.
Now we got to look at it from the other side. You know, the Philadelphia Eagles, the one thing that Andy Reid has talked about is finishing games. They've had some big plays on them in the fourth quarter. Right now, they've got to finish the half, and it's an unusual situation for these guys to be in. They are always playing with big leads, and you can have that kind of that exhale where you take a little bit easy. You take it a little bit easy off the what you've been doing the entire half, and you're seeing that right now from this Eagles defense.
Third down and 8. And Quinn's pass caught by Wade inside the 10, first down to about the 6-yard line, and the Bears call their second timeout. A big third down completion by Jonathan Quinn. 22 seconds remain in the half, and the Bears are knocking on the door. 16-0 with 22 seconds, and Jonathan Quinn 6 of 7 on this drive.
Yeah, as Tony's talking about this, they're very comfortable, but now they've gotten down into the red zone, and this is an area of the field where they have really struggled, and it's because of the things that they're doing. You see the penalties and the turnovers. It's going to be huge for them. Not 3 points. They have got to get 7 points right here.
And Javon Curse back in the lineup for the Eagles. First and goal at the 7-yard line, and Jonathan Quinn into the end zone, knocked away. Good defensive play that time, and it was the pass intended for Desmond Clark. And Ike Reese, I believe, was there.
Yeah, that is a good play, because that's a double move by Desmond Clark. Ike Reese bites on the outcut, but has the athletic ability. He gets in, but Desmond Clark should have made that catch. That was thrown in a good spot by Jonathan Quinn. He's looking around for some help from the officials, but Desmond Clark needs to make that catch. He's got to step up and make that play.
Eagles red zone defense. 6 scoreless possessions, second and goal at the 7-yard line, and there's the pump fake and the fade, and nearly intercepted, and it looked like Berrien had prevented Lito Shepherd from picking it off in the end zone.
And that's going to be such a difficult pass for Jonathan Quinn, because a fade route is based on familiarity between the wide receiver and the quarterback. And as a backup quarterback, you don't get time to establish that chemistry with your wide receiver. And Bernard Berrien just needs a little bit more time with Jonathan Quinn. He needed to throw that on the back shoulder and allow him to come back and play it there. He tried to get it out too far in front. Lucky that they didn't have an interception.
Well, you saw the graphic third down conversions, only one, and that was recently on a 3rd down and 8. And Quinn was able to convert that one. The Eagles called the timeout in this instance with 14 seconds remaining, trying to keep the Bears out. Want to remind you the Visa halftime report coming up. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, scores and highlights. And up to the second, scores and stats on our Fox Sports ticker. Well, this is a big one coming up. Don't know what Lovie Smith has in mind in case they do not score here, whether they go for the 3 or get the touchdown attempt. Third and goal at the 7.
They've got one more timeout left, so they can use the entire field. They can throw the ball into the middle and not have to worry about the clock running out.
And Desmond Clark, the tight end, lining up wide to the right. They swing it out, and it's incomplete to Jones. He would not have scored even had he caught the ball. So now it's 4th down, 10 seconds to go, and they're going to get on the board to try with 3.
Boy, they look so good coming down the field when they were just in that hurry-up situation. You get those timeouts, and now he's over to the sideline again, and they're giving him the play, and he's thinking about it as he's going onto the field. I just think in this first half, Jonathan Quinn has played much better when he's had to go off of his instincts in that hurry-up situation as opposed to having time to think about the play.
Paul Edinger, who is 3 of 6 so far this year. This will be a 25-yard attempt in the unorthodox style that he has. Kick is good, and the Bears finally score with 6 seconds on the clock. It is now 16-3 in favor of the Eagles. Well, a picture is worth 1,000 yards. Sports photography of Walter Payton at the Lake County Discovery Museum, presented by the Walter and Connie Payton Foundation, opens Saturday, and it'll last through June 19th, 2005. Pro sports photographers share their best images of Walter on and off the field for the exhibit. And what better guy to pay homage to than the greatest?
I think it's worth more than 1,000 yards. It's worth about 16,000. Yes. What is that? 16,724.
It is. There's an Urlacher wannabe with a football in the stands, collecting the extra point or the field goal by Edinger. 6 seconds remaining, so the Bears go 60 yards in 12 plays and could not score, but that's nothing unusual. The Eagles do not allow a lot of people scoring touchdowns in that red zone.
No, but you know that Andy Reid's not going to be happy with the way his defense played on that drive down the field, because he's worried about them finishing games, and that's the half. And they get out to a lead. They've gotten back into this. They're starting to play well, and all of a sudden there's a potential for the Bears to get right back in it.
J.R. Reed on the return and is tackled as time runs out. Well, the Eagles getting a big break by the muff by R.W. McQuarters on the punt, allowing them to score their first touchdown. Terrell Owens with his 6 TD catch of the year. David Akers 3 field goals. It's 16-3 right now, but the Bears have to feel they are in the game, Moose.
Yeah, that series of plays really jump-started the Eagles' offense because they had been struggling. Chicago was doing a nice job, and all of a sudden they get that turnover, go right down the field, get a touchdown, and come back and get another field goal.
Tony, your view.
That turnover was a big pivot, was a big turning point. The Eagles, they came out slow, which we haven't seen since we had them, and we've had them a lot lately. They just got to come back, regroup. They're going to go in there at halftime. Andy will give them a nice pep talk, and they'll come out and be the Eagles that you've seen before.
And that is the end of the first half with the score: the Eagles 16 and the Bears 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Set to start with the Eagles in front 16-3. Daryl, looking at the numbers, which all favor the Eagles.
Yeah, the time of possession's big there, but the one that's critical is the points off turnovers, and Chicago couldn't do anything. They actually had to have help from Philadelphia and actually went against them and turned the momentum of that first half.
And those are the numbers, the real numbers, and for the latest fantasy stats, log on to foxsports.com, and these are real too. As Jonathan Quinn thrown for 63 yards, and McNabb with a big first half. Westbrook 83 yards rushing and receiving. Thomas Jones, that's a story. He's been held to 18 yards on only 7 carries. See if he improves upon that, as the Bears will get the ball first to start the third quarter. There's Bernard Berrien.
They only ran 25 plays in the first half. So, I mean, for Thomas Jones to get on track, that was one of his complaints at the other places. He needs to be given the ball an opportunity to get on a roll. Can't do that when you've only got 7 rushing plays called because you only ran 25 plays.
And the Bears need to keep possession as Berrien with a good return out to the 27 as we go down to the field to Tony.
What's up, guys? I got a chance to talk to Lovie Smith. He said, I asked him about Jonathan Quinn. I said, you know, he didn't look too good when he first came out, but he was a lot more comfortable back there at shotgun. Are we going to see him more at the shotgun position? Lovie just says he hasn't had a lot of time doing anything, so he thinks that he feels a lot more comfortable, and if he has to, he'll change up a little bit. That's all I got from him.
Yeah, I think you have to. You have to go with what makes your quarterback comfortable. And if he's more comfortable in that hurry-up shotgun set, then I would do it because he has not gotten a lot of snaps up until this week in preparation for the Eagles.
I can't believe that's all Tony got out. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line, and here is Quinn, and he swings it out to Jones. And Jones is tackled by Lido Shepard. There was a lot of question early on for the Eagles as to how those relatively inexperienced corners would hold up. Lido Shepard and Sheldon Brown, they did play a lot last year because of the injuries to the starting corners. And Andy Reid, Jim Johnston had a lot of confidence, and they've held up very well thus far.
And they have played the Minnesota Vikings, so they have gone against a very good quarterback and wide receiver. Gave up a lot of yards, 1 late touchdown to Randy Moss, but they answered that challenge in week 2.
2nd down and 6. Bears on their 31, and Quinn throwing again and overthrows David Terrell.
It just seems like he's a little bit excited. I mean, some of these are starting to sail on him a little bit, and that's what happened in that 4th quarter of the Minnesota game last week. He's just got to relax a little bit in that pocket.
Corey Simon is down, and so the Eagles, who, despite the 3-0 record, have had some tough injuries so far. Sean Andrews, the rookie right guard, John Ritchie last week, and now a guy they really don't need to lose is Corey Simon because the defensive line has played so well in the early going.
They have stayed relatively healthy this season, and for the past couple of years, it's been a part of that Eagles defense that has really struggled against the injuries. And, you know, Corey Simon is one of those guys that got the injury. Here he comes right here. He gets inside, goes to swim. The one thing I noticed, he wasn't wearing any thigh pads, and it looked like he might have bumped thighs with somebody and got a thigh bruise.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
And we're back here at Soldier Field as Hollis Thomas replaces the injured Corey Simon, a defensive tackle for Philadelphia. 3rd down and 6. And here is Quinn with another 3rd down play, and this pass doesn't get to the receiver, David Terrell. So Quinn has looked shaky, to say the least, and in his defense, remember, this guy has not really thrown a pass in anger. I mean, last week, as you mentioned, he filled in at the end, backed up in his own goal line since 0-1.
Yeah, and the fact that Rex Grossman was getting all those snaps during the course of the week, that his first opportunity to really get in and play with these guys on the offensive side of the ball was just this week, and you're going up against a defense that can make the best quarterback look silly on some Sundays.
You saw the numbers. Maynard's done a good job in kicking, and the Eagles have not returned that well, and a good coverage for the Bears. This one will drop at the 32-yard line early here in the 3rd. So the Eagles go back on attack, leading 16-3, looking for their 4th straight victory. 16-3 the score. And first, I just want to say we are a team, despite the fact that the Moose is wearing his jacket and I am not. You're not too cold, I know.
I've been in Texas too long.
You've been in Texas too long. How long can the Bears defense, hold the fort, waiting for that offense to do something?
Not much longer. There's too much pressure on them right now. That offense has got to do something where they at least stay on the field. And you know, we knew coming into the season that this would be a team that would need its defense a lot, but even more so now with the injury to Rex Grossman.
Breaking the tackle, but stopped at the 40-yard line. A 7-yard pickup for Terrell Owens. That's his 7th catch of the game for 97 yards. And he had his season's best last week, going over the 100-yard mark for Philadelphia with 107 yards and 6 catches. So he's already exceeded that.
And they're just doing such a good job on 1st down. It's just a pitch and catch between Donovan McNabb, and it's not always Terrell Owens. It can be any of the other weapons that are out there, but they get themselves into these 2nd and short yardage distances.
They need 2 yards, and here is Westbrook breaking a tackle and gets the 1st down. Stopped short of the midfield at the 48 by Bobby Gray. He himself banged up during the week, but playing today. 7 yards for Westbrook, with Gray making the tackle. Westbrook now with 10 carries and 47 yards on the day.
Very workmanlike for Brian Westbrook, and not only involved in the passing game. We saw him, you know, with some catches and the great protection in the first half, but he's really a complete player, and I think that he has to be one of the more pleasant surprises in this offense, because we talk about Donovan McNabb a lot, but he has been a big key this season.
And holding up as a workhorse all season long. McNabb getting away from trouble, and the throw incomplete. Trying to get it to Pinkston. Flag is down at midfield. McNabb with a little histrionics after that pass wasn't completed, and I think Donovan blaming himself for that.
Yeah, he did everything he normally does in that situation. He makes something when the play breaks down. Everybody moves up because they think Donovan's going to run, but when he scrambles, he's looking to throw.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 81 was up on the line, covering the tight end. The penalty is declined, brings up second down.
Anxious to get going was Daryl Owens.
Yeah, he's trying to gain a little bit of distance right there, but just watch how he escapes in here. You know, everything's collapsing. Here comes Ian Scott, feels that pressure, hops to the outside, finds a little crack right there. Now he has got Terrell Owens or Todd Pinkston rather, to the outside open, because the guys covering him move up when they see Donovan get on the perimeter.
And the whistles fly, and the Eagles.
Start offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Artis Hicks, the left guard. And 2 straight penalties called against the Eagles, bringing up a 2nd and 15 for them. And that's 8th penalty on the Eagles. You know, Andy Reid will have something to say about that during the week.
Oh, this is early in the 3rd quarter, and they have already got 8. Now, they're in a position where they can be very selective in areas that they feel they need to improve at. And you know that Monday morning, the one thing that Andy Reid's going to be looking at is the penalties.
2nd and long, and just give the ball to Westbrook. He'll get a bunch back, and he does, getting to midfield. And so an 8-yard pickup will bring up 3rd and 5. Hunter Hillenmeyer, the middle linebacker, in on the play.
You got to love that guy's name, Hunter Hillenmeyer. I love that guy.
You got to say Hillenmeyer, not Hillemeyer. You can't be lazy in the pronunciation, Goose.
It's my kind of guy right there.
That's a pretty strong defense when you got a guy named Tank up front, and then you got your Hunter at the linebacker level. We got to find somebody in the secondary to round that group out.
How about Cameron? Cameron Forrell. No. 3rd and 7. 1 for 6 on 3rd down conversions for the Eagles. So the Bears have done pretty well in these situations today. Here's McNabb, and pump fake, fires, tipped, and intercepted. And it's the rookie Nathan Vasher, who picked off 17 at the University of Texas with his first NFL interception, gives it back to the Bears.
How prophetic is Lovie Smith? He said, you know what, I need to get Nathan Vasher on the field a little bit more, because he just seems to have a sense of getting around the ball. Donovan McNabb, look at the presence he has about where the line of scrimmage is. The play was made on the deflection by your guy, Tony, Hunter Hillenmeyer.
Gotta love him.
I'll tell you, there are some players that are just have a nose for the ball for interceptors, and Vasher seems to be one of those.
A little bit of film study during the course of the week will help you out on Sundays. Hunter Hillenmeyer sees something. Now, the Eagles, with all their packages, there's going to be certain plays that come out. He sees something right there. He's alerting everybody else on the defense, but it was Hunter himself who was the guy who made the deflection to allow Nathan Vasher to get the interception.
And Thomas Jones going in motion. 1st down for the Bears. And here is
somebody go deep for him.
And he finally goes to the fullback, Brian Johnston, and a minimal gain on the play. So a couple of yards to Johnson on 1st down, and that was the first interception thrown by Donovan McNabb this season, and his first pick in 163 pass attempts.
I think you put the whammy on him again. You did it to him last year, too.
What did I do?
In Carolina, you put up a graphic that he had a long streak like that, and he threw an interception on the first play of the game.
We did not have a grab. We just showed it after the kick.
No, I saw something earlier today.
After the fact. 2nd down and 6 from the 32. And the fake end around. Bursting up the middle is Thomas Jones. 1st down for the Bears, shy of their 40-yard line. And for a game break, here's James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Dick, Brett Favre had his bell rung in this series. He missed a couple of plays, put himself back in, Dick, and on 4th and 5, throws that 28-yard TD strike to Javon Walker. It is all tied at 7. Brett is out now because a concussion is setting in. And, Dick, Terry Bradshaw says, tell Tony Siragusa, yeah, TV does put only 110 pounds on you. Back to Dick Stockton.
I hope Tony heard that one. First down at the 39. And again, Thomas Jones, this time off the right side. And Michael Lewis and Mark Simino making the tackle. As you see, the offensive leaders across the top.
Tell Terry Bradshaw it's easy to say that while he's in California and I'm in Chicago.
Just takes a jet plane, Tony. You can get there in a jiff.
Get me a car.
10 yards with Tony Siragusa next week is one vote.
That's right. Now let's keep him here. Let Terry have the 10 yards. Here's the rushing story. The Bears struggling in that department. Only 25 yards today. Came in 4th in the league into this game. 2nd and 9 from the 40. And the swing pass, good play, flag down. Brian Johnston out of bounds, but there's a penalty marker down, and it looks like a holding call coming up. And that'll maybe against Chicago. But we'll wait and see what Ed Hockley determines.
Surprised they haven't gone to that screen play a little bit sooner this afternoon. Very safe play, something that Jonathan Quinn could build some confidence off of. You're really just putting the ball in the hands of your running backs early on, moving getting some distance, keeping it into a manageable situation on your downs.
It's against the Eagles, apparently.
Holding defense, number 78. A 5-yard penalty is enforced in the previous spot with an automatic first down.
So Hollis Thomas, who came in for Corey Simon, who was shaken up, called for defensive holding, and the Bears get a break. Automatic first down for Chicago.
When you run a screen pass, if you play fake to the running back who's going to be in your screen, then you can grab a hold of him and prevent him from getting out. But if he is not involved in a play fake, then you have to allow him to get into the screen element. I think Hollis Thomas grabbed a hold of Brian Johnston and didn't allow him to get out because that was a slow developing play.
So the ball is up to the 45-yard line. Thomas Jones trying to turn the corner. And Jones picking up a couple of yards on the play. It looked like Quinn had stumbled on that handoff. And Nate Wayne making the tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, who have not allowed a touchdown in this game. Eagles coming into this game trying to get their defense together. They have diminished the points they have allowed in the first 3 games. The Giants with 17, Vikings 16. Detroit scored 13 last week. Second and 8. Bears up to their 47. And a 2-touchdown lead for the Philadelphia Eagles. Pressure up the middle, and Quinn had no chance. And it was the veteran Hugh Douglas who was not picked up by any blocker, and a loss of 6 on the play back to the 41.
And that's the scary part when you got a guy that's coming free, and Hugh Douglas on the outside right there. They're motioning across. They turn the protection, but you got to account for your defensive end. There didn't seem to be anything there to get Kasim Mitchell to go inside. I don't know what the protection scheme was there, but I'm going to be worried about number 53. That's the situation that he comes onto the field, is to rush the quarterback. You got to know where he is.
That is the first sack today by the Eagles. They've had 12 different players who've had a hand in sacks. And here they come again. And Quinn goes down. And you knew sooner or later Jim Johnson's going to send everybody. And that time it was Lito Shepherd and company with the cornerback blitz, and 8 more yards negative for the Bears.
And he's going to come from the outside. Right here. Here comes Lito Shepherd in there. And again, you've got another guy who's unblocked. And that is when things get scary against this Eagles defense, because that means they're doing something scheme-wise. They figured something out. They brought 2 guys to Thomas Jones' side. He has to make a decision. He does the right thing and takes Tahani Jones on the inside, but that frees up the outside blitz.
Brad Maynard with the kick, and Reno Mahe is hit immediately and goes down. So Jim Johnston, laying in wait, all of a sudden throws a few things at Jonathan Quinn. The Eagles will get it back. And another guy who's had a sack. And back here at Soldier Field in Chicago, perfect day. Dick Stockton, Daryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Donovan McNabb, after throwing his first interception, has a wide open Brian Westbrook up the middle and getting a few more yards after the catch, close to the first down. So Westbrook now has caught 7 passes for 48 yards to go along with his 55 yards rushing. good all-around game for Westbrook.
He has really become a key figure in this this Philadelphia Eagles offense, and you know, kind of took a back seat last week against the Detroit Lions.
Yes,
Maybe not as many touches as he was used to, and it's important to keep him involved in this game plan because he always gives you that big play potential.
2nd down and 1. Handoff, and it's Westbrook again turning the corner. Boy, a great burst, good speed, and a 1st down as Westbrook gets to the 44-yard line, getting 6 more yards. So with all the weapons that Donovan McNabb has, the one he can always rely on is this guy.
He really can. He can just do so many different things, whether it's running the football, matching up in the passing game, creating mismatches. I mean, who do you cover him with? Very strong between the tackles, very quick to the perimeter. He's just become a very complete player, and one of the most impressive plays I saw in the first half was Brian Westbrook in pass protection when he stoned a safety coming on a blitz and put him on his back.
Those are the plays that don't show up in the box score, so to speak, and Dorsey Levens gets running room off the right side and picks up 7 or 8 yards. Nathan Vasher making the tackle, and I like the way Andy Reid is spotting Westbrook today in particular, because he doesn't have the 3-headed running back anymore. He doesn't want to overwork Westbrook because he knows that you know, he's his meal ticket, so he brings Levens in a good deal today.
Well, absolutely, and this offense is based on getting the ball to a number of different people, and Dorsey Levens has proven himself throughout his career as being an effective runner, even in a situational spot like he finds himself now. But it's important not to take a chance on getting Brian Westbrook tired where he can get a muscle pull. Even if he was to miss one game, this would be a totally different offense.
2nd down and 1 at the 48, and here is Levens, and Levens will get enough for the 1st down as the Eagles again in Chicago territory. That was a 2-yard pickup as we have nearly 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd. 16-3 Philadelphia.
Josh Perry, your fullback, filling in for the injured John Ritchie, does a nice job here. He's going to get Marcus Reese on the blitz right in his face. Number 52 does a good job inside out, gets enough, creates a little bit of a lane there for Dorsey Levens. Andy Reid always liked Josh Perry. He's been in the system, so it's not like he just came in and has to learn it. Just got caught up in those numbers games at the end of training camp.
4 years on the practice squad. A converted linebacker is Josh Perry, and on 1st down, pressure on McNabb, but he gets away from Ogunleye, and the pass is thrown incomplete on the sideline. The tight end Chad Lewis was there, but McNabb that time was chased by the speedy Ogunleye.
That's got to be so frustrating for a defensive lineman. I mean, you think you're in perfect position to get the sack, and he has that ability to freeze a guy for just a split second that gives him enough time to get out, break, contain, and now all of a sudden he's looking downfield to throw the ball. And that's, you hear a lot of people say, when you're playing against Donovan McNabb, only half the job is done when you get near him. The other part is getting him down on the ground, because we've seen him make completions with people hanging around his waist. He can freeze a guy, break, contain, and make big plays down the field.
He has not yet run the ball today, has 12 rushes coming into this game as he calls the audible, and the formation tightens up. 2nd and 10, and the play is blown dead. And the whistle before the snap.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
5 more yards, and this is a penalty-filled game for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're leading, but they're certainly not playing their best by any stretch.
Well, they were going to bring Lance Briggs on a blitz right there, and then all of a sudden Philadelphia audibles. That's why they had to delay a game, and there's Hunter Hillenmeyer again alerting his defense that something has changed.
Who needs Brian Urlacher? Don't tell him I said that, please.
Everybody would love to have Brian Urlacher.
Only one of the top 2 or 3 in the league. 10 penalties, 73 yards charged against the Eagles. 2nd and 15. Quick handoff to Westbrook. Brian Westbrook with a burst and into Chicago territory. Deeper with a 1st down. A great run by Westbrook, 30 yards. Finally brought down by the free safety, Todd Johnston.
You want to see somebody who has command of their offense? There comes your blitz on the right. He changes the play at the line of scrimmage and runs away from it with just a running play. He audible to a running play, probably just flipped it from going to the right to going to the left. Watch Donovan McNabb tap his hips. Here comes your blitzers. They're going to come up into this area right here. He gets the signals to everybody, and that opens up the left side for Brian Westbrook, who goes untouched until he's about 10 yards downfield.
And so officially 29 yards for Westbrook. 50 had been his longest rush so far in this year. And a timeout called by the Bears, their first timeout And the fullback, Josh Parry, laid on a pretty good block on that run as well. 16-3, the Eagles. And the Bears will welcome back Brian Urlacher after the bye week, which is next week. Eagles first down on the Bears 22. And the ball tipped at the line, going for the slant. Hunter Hillenmeyer gets his hand on the pass intended for Greg Lewis. And you look at the total yards, you think the score was 38-0, but it is only 16-3. The Eagles have won their last 6 games, 16 when they've had 300 or more. How about all the omens going in the Philadelphia column today?
Well, it's been the same way week after week, and you know, it should be you know, that kind of score, but Philadelphia has shot themselves in the foot several times this afternoon.
Brian Westbrook has averaged nearly 7 yards a rush. 2nd and 10 from the 22. Chad Lewis in as a blocker, and the pass trying to get it to Westbrook. So 3rd down and 10 now.
Looked like the offensive line left a little bit early on that screen right there. Donovan couldn't get the ball off. But I'll tell you what, if they would have caught that, it could have been 6.
Yeah, he didn't have anybody in front of him. Chicago blitzed really strong to the right side of the Eagles offense, and as you pointed out, Tony, it's a screenplay called. So, you know, they're coming in, and they release just a little bit too soon. Donovan gets a little bit too much pressure on him from up the middle and off to his right, and he's got to try and float one over the top of everybody to allow Brian Westbrook to run underneath it.
Already in field goal range for David Akers. The Eagles are looking for more. 3rd and 10. Here's the pressure and the pass, and thrown hard to no one in particular, and Bobby Gray was the closest to it. Thrown over his head. Terrell Owens was the intended receiver, and Gray looks to be shaken up a bit with 4th down coming up and Akers coming in.
More pressure again. Number 55, Lance Briggs coming. Hunter Hillenmeyer, number 92, and Donovan McNabb. He's getting a lot of pressure right up into the middle, into his face.
And shaken up on the play was Bobby Gray, who suffered a stinger last week and had to come out of the game. Had a big interception a couple of weeks ago against the Green Bay Packers.
Looks like his, it looks like Gray's knee went out on him. You know, he tried to get up, and then he started wiggling his left knee. Looked like it locked, and then all of a sudden it just let out.
Tony, this is a team that has been decimated in the secondary. I mean, they lost Jerry Azuma before the season started with neck surgery. He expects to come back relatively soon. Charles Tillman has been out with a knee injury.
There's Mike Brown.
And there's Mike Brown, and that's the big loss, I think.
Yeah, he's their playmaker. I mean, he's the guy that turned that game at Green Bay. You know, Brian Urlacher has the fumble. Mike Brown comes in, scoops it up, goes 95 yards for the touchdown. It's about to be 10-7 Green Bay, and Mike Brown's playmaking ability pushes it to 14-3 Chicago.
So now Akers, who's perfect today, will try the 40-yard field goal. And the kick is long enough and good. 4 for 4 for Akers, a 40-yarder. In fact, all of the field goals have been at least from 40 yards, including the 51-yarder in the first. Eagles extend their lead to 19-3. It's unpredictable, can't be scripted. It's provided us with some of sports' greatest moments. Well, on Tuesday, Fox Sports begins the month-long journey, starting with the Division Series and then exclusive coverage of the Championship Series, and it all culminates with the World Series and the crowning of a new champion. The drama begins Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, here on Fox. So 1 touchdown today for the Eagles, 4 field goals for David Akers, who kicks off to Bernard Berrien, and he'll let that one roll through for the touchback. So when you hold a team to 3 and you got 4:41 to go in the third, your defense is doing something good, Moose.
Yeah, they really. We talked about them having their best performance last week, and they have continued to build on that. And that's what they should do with a young quarterback who's making his first start this season. And then the second half, they really got on track with their presser package. Guys started to come free, unblocked. So Jim Johnston continuing to go through his play calls to try and get those free blitzers there, and it's just been a very tough day for that Bear offense.
And Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator for the Bears, worked under Jim Johnston for 5 years in Philadelphia. Starting from the 20-yard line with 4:41 to go, here is Thomas Jones, hemmed in, changing directions. Tries to put the juke on and winds up with about 5. Lewis with the tackle. So Jones now with 11 carries, 32 yards in this game.
that was the area that I really felt that the Chicago Bears might be able to exploit a little bit. You know, their offensive line is played very well this season. Thomas Jones is the leader in the NFC in rushing, and you would have thought that would have been a matchup that they would have more success, but he's averaging less than 3 yards a carry right now.
Terrell and Wade both split to the right. 2nd and 5. Wade going in motion. No end around, and the pass caught by Brian Johnston, but hit immediately. Nothing after the catch, and the Eagles do a good job preventing the Bears from getting a first down, thanks to Brian Dawkins.
You know, Moose, you talked about the offensive line of the Chicago Bears. That center, Kreutz, he's not a big guy, but I have never seen a guy. I mean, I've played against a lot of centers. Dermontti Dawson, this guy reminds me of. He is so quick on his feet. He blocks not one guy, 2 guys a lot of times, and he also pulls on the edge, something I haven't seen in a long time.
Now, one of the things that he allows this offense to do in the running game is because he is so quick and he can reach a guy who's on the play side shoulder, maybe even inside the guard, that they can do some different things with the blocking scheme with the guard and tackle. He's so quick off the snap. 3rd and 2, short drop and incomplete.
And that'll bring up 4th down. Brian Johnston, the intended receiver. And the crowd disappointed with that series as Quinn comes off the field. And, of course, Goose talking about Dermontti Dawson, who is an all-pro center for many, many years with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's high praise for Olin Kreutz.
And also gave me a lot of headaches, Dick.
Well, those are gone now.
Now I got to deal with you.
4th down, Brad Maynard to punt. Reno Mahe at the 22. Mahe cutting up the middle and tackled at the 32-yard line with 3:01 remaining. The Bears trying to get something going offensively. 5 3-and-out in 8 possessions for Chicago.
I was just surprised. You know, Tony talked to Lovie Smith coming out for the second half, and, you know, he did look better in the shotgun. It did look like he felt more comfortable in that hurry-up situation. Why you wouldn't move there right now? He obviously, through this 3rd quarter, is kind of back in that thing where I think he's just overthinking just, you know, some of the things you heard about Jonathan Quinn. He's got the big arm. He's got great field vision, but sometimes he thinks too much, and he just can't let his natural abilities take over. I think he was forced into that when they got into that hurry-up. He just had to go out there and react. I'm surprised we haven't seen the Bears offense go back to that.
You're right. He had to be a lot more instinctive in that instance as Westbrook gets 1 on the play. And you saw the graphic showing how proficient the Eagles have been on the road. And the 26-7 record since the year 2000, they have won 8 of their last 9 on the road. And I think their only loss was to the Dallas Cowboys.
Last season they lost to Dallas, and they're on 2 consecutive 7-1 campaigns out on the road. So this is a team, you know, there's a tremendous home field advantage when you have to go into Philly and play, but they take care of business when they get away from their home field.
Big first half passing wise for McNabb, keeping it on the ground, and here is Westbrook cutting upfield. Looks like he's about a yard short of the first down, and the tackle's made by Mike Green with help from Michael Haynes, the defensive end.
You get into a 2nd and long situation, you hand the ball off to Brian Westbrook, and you've almost got enough yardage for your first down, and that kind of sums it up if you're a Bears fan right there. You know, you don't want to see any more of this. It's been a long afternoon.
Maybe he doesn't want to be shown at the game. Maybe he's supposed to be somewhere else.
I think he's having one of those days watching his favorite team.
Well, Westbrook with 99 yards. McNabb has hit only 1 of 6 on 3rd downs. He's got 1 here, and here is Westbrook trying to get to 100. He's not going to get it. In fact, he's going to lose a yard. Hunter Hillenmeyer playing an inspired game for Brian Urlacher until Urlacher gets back after the bye, and 4th down coming up. So a good defensive sequence for the Bears.
Well, they have played well all afternoon. They have pursued to the ball very well. They have maintained their gap control, and there's Hunter Hillenmeyer. He gets outside, forces Brian Westbrook back inside, and also makes the tackle. So yeah, the defense has done a good job today, but yeah, they're going to get tired. I mean, they have been out there for a long time today.
And Dirk Johnson with the kick, sending Berrien into the sun. He's going to let it bounce, and it takes a Chicago roll and goes out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. But you make a great point. The defense has been on the field too much. The offense has got to do some production at some point. Tony, what do you got?
Well, just, you know, looking on the sideline, Andy Reid does not look very happy. You know, we've had this guy many a times this season so far. He looks a lot like somebody I know, but I can't really place it right now, but it'll come to me soon. I promise you that.
Could it be this guy?
Who's that? That's it, Greg Stadler. Greg Stadler, there you go. Excellent, excellent. With the goatee and everything. Greg Stadler and Andy Reid, they could be brothers.
Andy Reid said, no, I don't like that idea.
Andy probably hopes he plays golf as good as that guy.
Should have put glasses on Stadler. First down at the 29. And Thomas Jones is snuffed out by Hollis Thomas. Thomas coming in for Corey Simon, losing 4 yards on the play. A lot of depth for the Philadelphia Eagles. Sam Rayburn, another good run stopper. Hugh Douglas has played well today, and they still have been unable to get Paul Grasmanis, the former Bear, back.
Well, it tells you how far along this defensive line has progressed since the injury department a few years ago. Hollis Thomas was the guy that when they lost, how are we going to stop the run? Now he's a guy that's coming in off the bench to replace Corey Simon.
Second down and 14, licking their chops to the Eagles, and Jim Johnston back at the 25-yard line, and the pass out and caught by Dustin Lyman and very nearly intercepted. That was very close to Honey Jones fighting Lyman for the ball, but when all is said and done, nothing on the play.
Yeah, nothing on the play. That's the thing, a completion for about a half a yard. And you get into some of these plays here, it's very frustrating to wake up in the box score and see 2 catches for 2 yards.
And that's the end of the third quarter. The Eagles leading the Bears 19-3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Two quarterbacks, Quinn and McNabb. Quinn with his first start of the season, and a 7-year veteran. Had not seen much action in a 7-year career, and Donovan McNabb off to his best start. 19-3 as we start the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton, Moose Johnston, Goose Siragusa, 3rd and 13 coming up for Quinn and the Bears. And the pass is caught, but they only left him about 8 yards short of the first down. Thomas Jones making the catch, and you wonder what that play was all about.
You know, Moose, Jonathan Quinn, it's amazing how big this guy is. You would think that his vision of the field, standing behind him for a good portion of the game, you know, you can see the whole field when you're real tall. I'm not even as tall as he is, but it's amazing how he's struggling to get the ball downfield.
Well, I think he's got great vision of the field. You know, Terry Shea, the coordinator, talked about that when he charted plays in Kansas City. He saw things that the scouts didn't see from the sideline. So I don't think that that's the issue here today. I just think that for whatever reason, he's a little bit uncomfortable. He just, he doesn't play instinctively yet. He's kind of overanalyzes what's going to happen, running the play through his head instead of just coming back, going through your progression and finding that open guy. And, Terry Shea's big thing when he talks to him is like, go through your progressions and you'll find the completion. And he seems to be struggling with that a little bit right now.
Yeah, he's a totally different guy when he's under the center compared to when he's 2 or 3 yards back. I just don't understand it.
Bobby Gray cramps. Return is questionable. And, of course, Bears fans have to really miss Rex Grossman right about now because he had that little magic going for him. And there is Rex Grossman, torn ACL, surgery in a couple of weeks. It'll be a 10-month deal. And the first pass, great defense. And that was a great play by the linebacker, Lance Briggs, as he buried Freddie Mitchell on the pass up the middle.
And that shows you the athletic ability of Lance Briggs. He's in man coverage on Freddie Mitchell. And he's right there with him. That ball is a little bit on the back shoulder, and he's able to make up that distance right there and knock it loose.
Yeah, Freddie knew he was going to get hit on that play, I think.
Yep. 2nd and 10. And the Eagles on the 34-yard line. Opening minute of the fourth quarter. And the Bears showing blitz and coming. And the pass caught by Terrell Owens. And the extra effort will give them the first down to the 46. And for a game break, James Brown has more. JB.
Hey, Dick. Jeremy Shockey was champing at the bit to be involved more in the offense. Little fade pattern here. Touchdown toss from Kurt Warner on 3rd and goal. That's his first touchdown reception since last October. Giants on top by a touch. Back to Dick Stockton.
Well, remember they were talking about Tom Coughlin and how no one wanted to play for him? Well, they're 2-1, and they're playing the Packers tough in Lambeau.
Yeah, Shockey's got to be happy he's not blocking in the backfield anymore, I'll tell you that.
First down, and here is McNabb firing off the hands. Incomplete, Terrell Owens. But Owens had an opportunity to catch the pass. It got to him, and Michael Haynes that time put big time pressure on Donovan McNabb.
And you can see him hit his chest. He knows he let one get away. And these two are becoming very comfortable when you get into these situations where the protection breaks down. Again, the Chicago Bears doing a good job getting pressure in the middle. They have been relentless with their pass rush. Number 97, Michael Haynesworth right there. Ian Allen, 95. But this is where these guys are starting to grow accustomed to each other. When that play breaks down, being able to get into that open spot, and Donovan's starting to anticipate where he's going to be.
Haynes did a good job of not making that late hit to cause the penalty. Spreading the defense, and the handoff is to Westbrook. Westbrook gunning for the sticks and may have reached it into Bear territory to the 44. Todd Johnston runs him out of bounds. And once again, the Eagles getting great production out of spreading with wide receivers and then running. 107 yards for Westbrook today.
Well, that was the concern of Lovie Smith, because he really feels that gives him so many more lanes. It opens everything up. You've got to respect the wide receivers when they're opened up in those formations. And then all of a sudden, the ability to hand the ball off to Michael Westbrook, and it's a different kind of blocking scheme too. You're just kind of pushing guys to the side. You're getting everybody flowing one direction and allowing him to pick his open lane.
Terrible third down conversions for both teams. 2 for 19. Let's see if McNabb can improve upon it, and he will. And he gets the first down, I believe. Let's see where they spot the ball. It'll be close on second view. It is a first down for the Eagles.
You just have to worry about him throwing the ball when he gets out on the move, and then the vision to be able to sense Lance Briggs coming from behind and put the brakes on and then get back inside for the yards necessary for a first down. You watch him here. He's moving to the right. He's thinking throw, thinking throw. Lance Briggs comes over. He senses him coming, catches him out of his peripheral vision, and is able to duck back inside and get the yards for the first down.
McNabb coming back to his native Chicago, and once again the Eagles spread it out and run it off the spread formation. Changing direction is Westbrook, and he's got McNabb as a blocker, and Westbrook appears to have a first down. Donovan McNabb turns into a blocker that time, and a first down for the Eagles, getting 11.
I don't necessarily think he turned into a blocker. I think he turned into one of those guys that runs interference.
Okay.
You'll see right here. Let's see. All right, he's got a chance. All right, there's 93. Okay, he's by him. Now, where's my next guy? 24? No. He'll get it. He'll get it.
He's got that veteran savvy about him. He knows don't hit nobody.
That's probably one of the things that Andy Reid tells him. You can get out. If you want to run around, that's fine, but don't you dare pull one of those crazy Brett Favre things and start throwing chop blocks on guys downfield.
He may have hurt Andy yelling across the field, don't touch anyone. Here's Westbrook, and for a second it looked like Westbrook was going to throw the ball on the option play. He had Terrell Owens downfield, instead goes out of bounds.
I think you're exactly right, and that's a smart play by Brian Westbrook, because downfield there were 3 guys on Terrell Owens. They didn't fool anybody with that play, and that shows you now the intelligence that Brian Westbrook has. Here's a play that we put in, we've got in our package, and you don't have to throw that. I think a lot of times those running backs, they get in that situation and they feel like they have to throw it. You can pull it down and try and get some positive yards carrying the ball, or worst case scenario like he did right there, just get out of bounds and we'll live to play another day.
They're on the 35 of the Bears. Second down and 14. Give to Westbrook, and down he goes. He'll lose a few more. Adewale Ogunleye, who was acquired from Miami from Marty Booker, the wide receiver, already paying dividends for the Bears defense, and that time a loss on the play of 3.
He has given him that presence on the outside, that speed rusher with the sack capability, and you go back inside, and they've got Tommy Harris and Tate Johnson and Michael Haynes and Ian Scott. They've got a lot of guys that they can already start their rotation inside with. Alex Brown's very athletic on the other side, and that is why they have played so well today. They have got a nice group in that defensive line up front.
Not a bad job. Basher has an interception, one of the 3 rookies starting today. 3rd and long, 3rd and 17, and flushing McNabb out, and the pitch to Westbrook, and Westbrook running, and he is going to get the first down. So there are all kinds of plays that the Eagles have, all kinds of targets and ad-libs, and a 20-yard play by Westbrook giving the Eagles another first down.
Now, what do you do in this situation? I mean, you have forced him out of the pocket. He breaks out. They've got the screen, and he has to flip it. And how many times we've had the chance to cover the Eagles quite a bit this year. How many times have we seen them in third and long yardage? That was 3rd and 17, and they run a screen play and get the first down.
He deserves a breather, does Westbrook. Andy Reid loves to throw, and the team running more here in the second half with the lead, and Dorsey Levens with the carry. Hunter Hillenmeyer making the tackle, a 3-yard gain with a little more than 5 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter. The Eagles have led all the way. They're up 19-3.
They have been just in complete control of the game, and we have to start saying some things about this Bear defense, because they have really done a nice job today. It's been a long afternoon for them. The offense hasn't held up their side of the bargain. They have struggled on the offensive side of the ball, but defensively this game could be, maybe even a little bit more lopsided than it is right now.
Yeah, Moose, I think people don't really understand. When you go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out as an offense, these plays just keep piling on top of each other, and you really start to get wore down a little bit as a defense.
Yeah, it looks like, they may be, and there was good pressure that time for Hunter Hillenmeyer, and I have to tell you, the one thing that you come away with, win or lose in this game, and the Bears are on the short end, this is a well-coached football team on both sides.
Yeah, and that's the disappointing thing about all the injuries that the Bears have today. Without Brian Urlacher, without Mike Brown, without Rex Grossman, I mean, those are your 3 captains, and they've got some other injuries there. To have seen these 2 teams play today with the full complement of the rosters would have been a really, really good, well-played football game. Bobby Grayer's returned at strong safety, and the pitch to Brian Westbrook gets by one defender, but he can't get away after Ogunleye put the pressure on. And a 4th down coming up, and Akers will come on to try to add 3 more to the Eagle total. So, the offense, of course, Quinn in his first game in the Chicago uniform has had his problems today. But the Bears are making the Eagles work. There's no question. This will be a 39-yard attempt for Akers. Akers already has kicked 4 field goals today, all from 40 or longer. And the 39-yard field goal, no good. So Akers says it's too short for me. Give me the long ones. As he hooked that one, and the score remains 19-3, Eagles. And welcome back to Chicago. It was chilly early in the day, but it's warmed up to close to 70 degrees. And the Bears are looking to warm up offensively. They have not been able to muster much on the attack with Jonathan Quinn in his first start after Rex Grossman is lost for the season with injury. First down for the Bears on the 30. Trailing by 16 after Akers missed. And Brian Johnston hit immediately by Lito Shepard, and those passes out on the flat with that defense not netting him much yards. Well, it looks like it's going to be a good play because you've got the blitzer coming right off the spot where you're slipping the fullback into the flat, but because of the way they do their coverage scheme, there's another guy coming across to take that spot. So it's actually not an open hot area. It's actually covered by 26 Lito Shepard.
2nd down and 10.
There's a shotgun.
And Berrien the rookie is in the game as a wide receiver, wide to the left, covered by Hood, the nickel back, and they dump it off to Thomas Jones. And Jones trying to get some yardage, moves it up to the 36-yard line, 6-yard gain. So he's shy by 4 with another 3rd down coming up. The Bears have converted only 1 3rd down conversion today.
See if they stay in that shotgun formation. Maybe even get into a little bit of that hurry-up mode. You're at 7 minutes and 39 seconds left right here. You're down by 2 possessions.
I hate to ask this. Is this 4th down territory, 2-play territory?
Not here. Not here.
And fortunately, we don't have to answer that question right now as David Terrell makes the catch for the 1st down.
There's 2 first downs for you.
2 3rd down conversions. You're right, Tony.
Thanks, Dick.
You got You got to go with what you got out there. As we wind down to 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Eagles leading 19-3. They have scored the only touchdown in the game. All the other scoring coming on field goals. And here is Quinn up the middle again to Thomas Jones, but he is tackled by Nate Wayne. Not a bad first down play.
Well, the Eagles defense knows the situation. They know what the score is. They know they can't give up the big play. So right now, they're doing a good job of what Chicago tried to do. We're going to keep everything in front of us. The guys that go deep, we're going to make sure that they're covered. If they want to throw the ball underneath, take time off the clock. You know, that's not our issue right now. That's what they can have right there.
David Terrell still on his feet. And finally going out of bounds. So the Eagles have to be shaking their heads. There had to be a miscommunication because Terrell was left wide open. It turns out to be a 32-yard play for the Bears.
Some kind of mix-up in the coverage because, as you pointed out, Dick, they did not have anybody out there. You can see right there, number 24, Sheldon Brown trying to get there, but he's a step too late.
And the pass into the end zone on the hurry up to Bernard Varian as they went without the huddle. And the pass is incomplete, 2nd and 10. But as you pointed out, it looks like Jonathan Quinn is best when he has to really play hurry up and not really think so much.
Well, that was a heady play on that last one. The fact that you look up, you see your receiver out there with no coverage on it. Something happened in that Philadelphia secondary, and they forgot about number 83.
2nd down, 10. And he drills that one. Well, they said he had a strong arm, and Bobby Wade had no chance for that.
He's got a strong arm, but he needs to work on that accuracy a little bit. He has sailed a couple passes, and it's tough on a young guy out there. And you're going up against a very difficult defense that you have to prepare for all week long. And, you know, that adrenaline starts pumping, and you've got the ability to sail a few.
18 for 33 for Quinn, 132 yards. And the pass caught by Terrell, and a quick hit put on by Michael Lewis. And it's 4th down coming up. 4th down and short. Rex Grossman looking on from the bench. 4th and 1. And the Eagles are going to go with 2 tight ends. And the play clock down to 16. They'll get off this play easily. And no shotgun here. 4th and 1. 3 tight ends in the game for the Bears. And here is Thomas Jones, 1st down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. So Rex Grossman lending his support, and the Bears with a 1st and goal, looking for their first touchdown of this game.
Well, there was no, you look over here, they've got all their 4 big bodies right on that side right there. Brian Johnston, a good kick-out block on Dahani Jones, but they moved the fullback and the tight end up to the line of scrimmage. They weren't trying to trick anybody with where they were going there.
1st and goal, ball at the 8-yard line. 10th play of the drive for the Bears. Question is, can they finish it off against a team tough to defend in the red zone? This pass caught at the 3 by Desmond Clark. And his forward progress may be closer to the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Amazing that we've been talking all afternoon about how well this team has been playing. And maybe this is one of the reasons why they're not really nervous down here. They are so good in the red zone, but they have been in control of the game all afternoon. David Akers misses a field goal that's going to put them up 22-3. The Bears are marching right down on the field on that. If they get this and get a 2-point conversion, you're talking about an 8-point game. It's a 1-possession game after they have been really dominated all afternoon.
2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line, and it's play action. And here is Quinn going to run it and throws, and the pass caught, touchdown to Brian Johnson. So Quinn gets his first touchdown as a Chicago Bear, finds his fullback Brian Johnson for a 2-yard score.
Well, there goes Brian Johnson in motion, but watch the way he works. He is the only guy out on that route. He does a great job. Quentin Michael has got to feel him. He's got to realize that he has slipped him behind. And he loses track of him. He's worried about coming up to put the hit on Jonathan Quinn. That's not his responsibility. Quentin Michael has got to stay with Brian Johnson.
And a 2-point conversion with just under 4 minutes remaining. It's 19-9. And as you said, if the Bears convert here, it becomes a 1-score game. an 8-point deficit. The Bears have tried once this year to go for 2. Otherwise, it's a 2-point score game and no chance. And Thomas Jones stopped at the 5. 2-point conversion turned back, but the Bears get a touchdown and trail the Eagles 19-9.
Boy, this is just an interesting play call right here. They're gonna pull this guy. They're gonna ask the tight end to block down on a guy. That should be trapped from the right, and then they're gonna run the fake reverse to try and hold flow. But the reverse is timed so poorly, nothing works. Watch, 74 pulls. How is Desmond Clark supposed to get around his face? They're trying to run a wham, but that should have came from the other direction. He does a good job by getting Darwin Walker off his feet, but well, that play was destined to fail.
And the Bears are hoping they succeed on this onside kick. Remember, the ball has to go 10 yards. And there's the kick, and it is protected and covered by the Eagles. Ike Reese, who will take over inside the Bears' 40-yard line, leading by 10. Here at Soldier Field, the Eagles leading 19-9, 3:56 away from their 4th straight victory. And after the onside kick failed, the Eagles at the 42 of Chicago. Westbrook on his way to a banner game, and he picks up 5 yards. That's 116 yards in the game on 21 carries. His career high came this year against the Giants in the opener when he had 119 yards on the ground. Westbrook will leave the game, replaced by Dorsey Levens. 2nd down, 6 on the 38. Clock is running. The Bears have 2 timeouts remaining, and they would need 2 scores to overcome the Eagles, or at least tie them. And here's McNabb going to the tight end, broken up. And it's Chad Lewis. Mike Green breaks it up. And for a game break, let's quickly go out to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Dick, Doug Peterson still in for Brett Favre, who's been trying to talk his way back in. Intended receiver, Donald Driver, tipped up high, picked off by Terry Cousins of New York. 2:20 left in regulation. Giants on top by a touchdown back to Dick Stockton.
So the Giants holding the vaunted Green Bay offense to 7 points. They have responded after being shredded by the Eagles in the opening game of the year. 3rd down and 6 at the 38. 3 wide receivers, and the quick jump pass to Mitchell caught. 1st down at the 30 as we wind down to 3 minutes remaining. The Browns are leading the Redskins 17-13 in the 4th quarter. New England locked in a Donnybrook with the Bills.
I tell you, who would have thought the Green Bay Packers would be staring at 1-3 after the way they played that first Monday night against Carolina with 2 of those games at home? Unbelievable.
Yeah, you don't know, and you know,
I didn't. Throw that in there. I don't know if you guys wanted that or not. Thought I'd just let you know my opinion.
We'll accept it because we have to. 1st down, handoff, Dorsey Levens. And Levens brings it down to the 26-yard line. Ian Scott making the tackle, and the clock stops in a timeout with 2:29 remaining in the 4th quarter. And a timeout called by the Bears. That will leave them with 1. Timeout will return to Soldier Field in just a minute. 2:29 remaining in the 4th. The Eagles by 10. Bears left with 1 timeout remaining. 2nd down and 7. On the 27 of the Bears, Brian Westbrook back in. Daryl Owens has caught the touchdown pass from McNabb, the only TD for the Eagles today. And here is Westbrook. Westbrook picks up 3 yards, so he's inching closer to his career high. 118, 1 yard less than what he gained against the Giants, as the Bears call their 3rd and final timeout. And of course, they'll have the clock stoppage at the 2-minute warning. Last week, Westbrook met a good friend.
This might have been the hardest hit he took all afternoon from his coach.
Andy Reid looked like Jackie Gleason with that kick after that a little bit. The honeymooners.
He even said that he thought that Andy Reid threw a flipper at him. You know, threw him a little forearm when he came by him.
How unflappable is Andy Reid? Even when a guy's going in there, he just, you know, just keeps his poise, put the leg out. 3rd and 5 for Philadelphia. No more timeouts remaining. Westbrook is 1 yard away from his career high. See if he gets the call now. He does. And he's going to lose yardage. Lance Briggs making it difficult. The 2-yard loss. And we will have a 2-minute warning will be the next time the clock stops.
Most, there he goes again, pointing stuff out and nothing happening.
he's got that touch to throw the whammy on everything.
2-minute warning.
The whammy master.
You guys are ganging up. We'll be back. 2 minutes to go in the game, and David Akers is on to try the 45-yard field goal. Don't forget, coming up on the SBC postgame show, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, scores from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats. And a 45-yard, looking to tie his career high with 5 field goals, since David Akers missed earlier, and this kick is no good, and he misses another one. So Akers, after kicking 4 in a row from as long as 51 and as short as 42, misses from 39 and 45 yards, and the score remains 19-9 with 1:55 to go. And you know, the Eagles are headed, obviously, for their 4th straight victory. But where would you put them in the 4 games, considering who they were going up against and all of that?
I think this is the sloppiest game that they've played up until this point this season. Number 1, the Bears with all the key injuries. I mean, 3 of their 5 captains that started the season, playmakers for this football team, not in the lineup today. And then just early on in the game, the penalties, different things that are in their control. And they just didn't seem to get off to that start. Now, they finished a little bit better today. But, you know, even that last drive, allowing Chicago to get down the field and get the touchdown, they made a nice play on the 2-point play to prevent it from becoming a 1-possession game. But I would say that of the first 4 games this season, that this has probably been the one that's been most poorly played. But the defense, which, you know, we talked about at the beginning, starting to gel. Offensively and special teams, I don't think the Eagles played well today.
And, of course, another victory by double digits or more. That's 4 in a row. And you have to go back to 1953 when they accomplished that. 1:50 to go, and Bobby Wade makes the reception. What about the Bears? You know, Quinn, and you know, the things you pointed out, not being over analytical, aiming his passes. He did that today in his first game. Your thoughts?
The big thing, this is his first game, and he'll become more comfortable. And I think he's got a lot of the tools. You see right there a pass to David Terrell. But you see the official with the hat off right there. That means he went out of bounds, and he cannot be the first guy to touch the ball coming back inbounds.
Terrell arguing with the official. Will be to no avail.
It's a good job using the sideline as one of your teammates. You know, you force that guy. Roderick Hood does a good job of forcing him to the sideline.
Definitely stepped out of bounds. But, you know, Jones for the second. Jones was unable to really get unleashed today because the Eagles knew without the strong passing game that they were going to have to run the ball.
You can't be one-dimensional. You have to be able to do both phases well. And with Jonathan Quinn struggling and the passing game struggling, the Eagle defense was able to really kind of hunker down and concentrate or focus their attention on Thomas Jones.
Illegal contact, defense number 29.
That's Hood.
That penalty is declined. The pass was completed. The player was knocked out of bounds illegally. Therefore, he was permitted to catch the pass. First down.
See his footstep on the line right there, but you know, part of that new rule, no contact beyond 5 yards. So when he did go out of bounds on an illegal play by the defense, he is still an eligible receiver.
So a 27-yard gain after all of that. And a timeout and another conference going up here. Not that there is any challenge here, but if there is any question, it would come from the replay booth. It's out of the hands of Andy Reid in this case. So Ed Hockley passing the word on to the players. Set to go, 1:28 on the clock, first down. And the Bears on the Eagles 30. Trying to see what they can do in the waning moments. And Quinn gets sacked. That is the third sack of the game by the Eagles, and Derek Burgess picks it up. And a little comedy here as the clock continues to run, and someone kicked the ball, and the officials recovered and put it back as we have nearly a minute to go. And Quinn dumps it off to Thomas Jones, and Jones dives close to the 35. Under a minute now. Picked up 12 on that one. Flag down, and the reception caught by David Terrell at the 20-yard line, but there was a penalty. It would be a first down pending the call as the clock stops with 47 seconds left.
Offside, defense, number 56. The penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Well, tonight on Fox, it's a special movie presentation. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker came up for a second run in the world broadcast premiere of Rush Hour 2, following King of the Hill and The Simpsons. It all starts at 7, 6 Central tonight on Fox. From the 19-yard line, and this pass thrown out of bounds.
Well, we talked about the Philadelphia Eagles, and maybe the one of the question marks that they have is the ability to finish a game. But, watching the Bears today, they have been resilient they've played their best football here in the fourth quarter. It's been a long day for the offense throughout the course of the afternoon, and yet, they're still here. I mean, they're still pressing. They're still making Philadelphia finish this game defensively.
And there's Quinn, who gets tripped up by Sam Rayburn. Was on his way to run for a few yards. Undaunted, gets up in a hurry with 30 seconds to go. Third down and 11. And Quinn gets hit from behind with another penalty marker. That was Hugh Douglas. And the stoppage of play with the flag with 19 ticks on the clock.
Well, Bernard Berrien has got to have a sense of urgency. He's the guy. He's still jogging out to his position to get set. Everybody else on the offense is ready to snap the ball, and he's just jogging out there to get set. He has got to get back and get lined up. It's a situation where you're going against the clock. I mean, everybody else is ready to go, and they're waiting for him to jog out and get set as the wide receiver.
He thinks it's the second day of two-a-days. And another conference. And welcome those of you who saw the Browns beat the Redskins. Here's Ed Hockley.
There was an illegal motion by the offense, number 80, never got set before the snap. That foul, when under a minute, causes the ball to be bone dead before the snap. Therefore, the offside on the defense did not occur. The foul was before the snap. The clock should be reset to 24 seconds. That's what it was at the time of the snap. The illegal motion inside 1 minute requires a 10-second runoff. Therefore, the clock goes to 24, and then reset the clock to 14 seconds, and it's third down.
And for our viewers who just joined us, and I don't know if you wanted to hear a legal term, that's a lawyer, Ed Hockley, giving an explanation, but to bring up to date, it's 19-9 in favor of the Philadelphia Eagles. 14 seconds to go in a game that the Eagles were not as sharp as usual. David Akers kicked 4 field goals. Dick Stockton, Daryl Johnston. This is the finish.
Yeah, I still don't understand what happened on that play. He's got to be more specific, and it's so confusing.
My head is spinning down here on the sideline.
Bobby Wade makes the catch. The Bears are out of timeouts, and they're not going to get another play off. And the Philadelphia Eagles will go to 4-0 to start the season, and the Bears drop to 1-3 as the Philadelphia Eagles win again. And a win on the road. Jonathan Quinn with his first appearance, and Donovan McNabb returning to his hometown of Chicago engineers another victory. We'll be back in just a moment.